We've got ignition, 3, 2, 1. We got RIP takeoff. We've got RIP takeoff. Rest up, my brother. Condolences for his family. Today we back on Terrence Howard's ass inspirations. Terrence Howard, bad man or genius. This is, what was unpacked on the Joe Rogan show. So we're going to unpack what was already unpacked. This is part 3 of 3. This is our interpretation, as they say. We're going to pay a few bills. The show will kick off live in about 2 minutes. Please like, share, subscribe, repost on all social media. And Karen, kick it whenever you're ready. Like Chicago, love in the morning.
We are, as they say, tangled in our anchor chain. Our financial systems are decades old. According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions. According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions. According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
And even in this instance, if I could be a service to a 9-year-old girl or a 19-year-old woman or girl who wants to be a woman, is to really remember that self-love is the best way that you can receive love from anybody else, because it's coming from you. A lot of times we forget that. We look externally for this love. We look externally for this feeling of validation and adoration and approval. And it has to come from within.
Smash that like button. Share this link to like minds and unlike minds. I can't handle the truth. Just give me the truth. The white man gonna take care of me. Self-love vision. We need to bury a Self-Love Show time capsule out here. I guess this show is a time capsule. Yeah. All right, let me snatch that up. All right, y'all, we back. All praise due to the Most High out there, that we are still here. You guys, we got a question up on the on our page as it pertains to, are we gods? We're gonna get that out to y'all. We want y'all response. As always, it's anonymous and it's free. We're compiling data. We need y'all to participate. No, we don't. We don't. We need those who are participating to participate. I've grown weary of requesting, and it's a waste of energy. So, love all. All right, y'all. We back in the building. The views expressed in today's podcast are those of the host, guests, and not necessarily reflective TATN or any of its affiliates out here. Welcome to the Self Love Show on This Ain't That Network, or TATN. This is a safe space where we explore captivating topics that expand the copper community's minds and ignite our copper curiosities. This is the copper co-host, 9 Millie. All praise due to all the ancestors, the Most High, And last but certainly not least, my late beloved Mama Sky. Terrence Howard, born on 3/11/69 in the Chi, has led a remarkable life. He was raised in Thieving, Cleveland. He faced a tumultuous childhood marked by physical abuse from his old man. Despite these challenges, Howard's love for acting blossomed during summer spent with his great-grandfather, New York stage actress Minnie Rentry. I mean, his grandmother, my bad. He stayed with his great-grandmother, who was New York stage actress Minnie Rentry. Terrence's journey from his humble beginnings to becoming an Oscar-nominated actor is a testament to his resilience, his talent, to copper Americans all over this so-called allegedly great United States. He's known for roles in movies like Crash, Ray, and Iron Man. He's been capturing the attention with some rather unconventional scientific musings, or metaphysical, philosophical musings, if you will. From deep dives into geometry, ancient philosophy, esoteric texts, and quantum physics, to claims about him discovering new wave conjugations. Howard's mind is a fascinating blend of creativity and copper curiosity. But is he a man out there? Is he a genius out there? Or is he both? Let's continue to explore the enigma that is Terrence Howard in part 3, which is the final part of this riveting series. Fasten your seatbelts, because it's going to be a thought-provoking conclusion. This is the Self Love Show, and this is The Revolution. The Revolution will not be on YouTube, however. These are lessons, not lectures. We're live in living color. Today is Tuesday, 7/30/2024 at approximately 7:26 in Iraq. And as always, you cats can be anywhere in this magnanimous universe, but thankfully, we all chose, big up Scooter, Scooter chose to be here together. Here together out there. Chi-town, bear down, Chi-town. What you manifested today out there?
Love, man. You know me. I'm manifesting love. How about yourself? What you manifesting?
Saying good, brother. Pure, unadulterated. Some say tough. Others say, harsh. I'm gonna hold you accountable. But I can assure you it's love, self-love, just the same, good brother.
No doubt. Accountability is love.
Man, you feel that? All right, everybody, and keep vibrating love. As you vibrate love, more love is going to come to you. And it's going to become like when you're rolling down a hill.
Perpetual motion.
Yeah, it is.
Build.
And it's going to gain momentum. Yep. And it's going to become easier to shine that light and to have that light to shine on you. For no reason at all. People will just hand you $20. That's right. Absolutely no reason at all. You don't believe it. All right. All right, y'all. Let's see here. You're unfiltered, unfettered. All right. What to expect on the Self Love Show? We always kick it off with the Self Love Show quote of the day. Then we'll play a short video, less than 1 minute. It's the More Growth and Development platform. Tune in or tune out. Then, of course, our government is paid by us to serve and protect us. A government that doesn't do that does not have the right to be a government, and that government should no longer exist. So we're keeping an eye out on different public officials, and we'll see if we like it. Normally it's 12. In fact, normally it's 12, but we'll branch out. But that's tattoo tyranny, and we're going to ask you, the chat, and the viewers, if you like it or if you think it's tyrannical. And then we always wrap it up with a riddle, which we call the dome teaser, because your mind is an awful thing when you waste it, and an idle mind is the Satan's workshop. Today's topic: Terrence Howard, madman or genius. This is the final chapter in a 3-part series. Phone lines are open. They're not open, but 424-900-6945. Do what you will. And please like, share, subscribe. We always tie this thing down my personal favorite part of the whole show, and that's where Brother Wordsmith summarizes everything in a metaphysical bit of prose off the top of his dome. So do stick around for that. All right, and if we got any quantum scientists, any philosophizers out there, any actors, whatever your capacity may be, as Brother Wordsmith has put in the chat, this is always interactive. We feed off of you. And enough of my yapping.
Yes, y'all. It don't stop. Self Love Show rocks on. Today we're unpacking Terrence Howard, Madman or Genius, Part 3. If you've been checking it out, you probably know kind of where we stand. But as always, got a very important video. The Silverback More Growth and Development platform, which we're building, the Self Love Nation. As always, before that, we have the Self Love Show quote of the day. In every person we meet, there's this little piece of God in them. And that's who you talk to.
Facts.
That's the only person that you allow to talk to you.
Facts.
When something else is speaking, you walk away from that.
Facts.
If it's not good, if it's not love, you walk away from it.
100%.
Once again, in every person we meet, there's this little piece of God in them. And that's who you talk to. And that's the only person that you allow to talk to you. When something else is speaking, you walk away from that. If it's not good, if it's not love, you walk away from that. That's Terrence Howard. Silverback More Growth and Development platform. Number 1, repair our nation via reparations. We demand our silver back. Number 2, to connect our breadwinners with our activists. And 3, show an accurate depiction of African American Chi-Town. 4, to shine a light on positive influences. 5, heal our community one person at a time. 6, to provide an unfiltered platform for our influencers. 7, recycle the black dollar. 8, to provide mentors for the mentorless. 9, to close the gap between us and our pink kinsmen.
Karen, what edibles, Karen?
And number 10, protect our women, children, and men by any and all means necessary.
Man, you're no good to nobody if you're not taking care of yourself.
Facts.
And they have to take care of you, which is love, but you know what I mean? Things happen out of our control, but
Reciprocity.
Facts. 100%. All right. Bro, while we're here, reciprocity. I've been meditating, and figured it out. Whole purpose of life. You remember you had a magnifying glass? And you used to hold it to the light, to sunlight out there. Some people say that's God, Ra, whatever you call it. But then you intensify it. You made that light intensify. That's what we are. We're little fractal magnifying glasses. Our job is to intensify God's love and recognize every bit of this creation as God. Once you can realize that everything is the God body, you'll be less likely to snatch leaves off a tree. You'll be less likely to cuss people out, things of that nature, even if they cuss you out first. And then here's the thing, Sal. If one believes that everyone is God, Same way you get down on your knees and beg for forgiveness from God. I'm not saying you get down on your knees and beg for forgiveness, but if you feel like you've wronged a person and didn't talk to them like they're God, whether it's an unhoused person or not, you should ask for forgiveness, bro. You should ask for forgiveness. Yeah. Meaning of life. About 9 meals. Magnified love. Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's it. Single, solitary, simple meaning. Oh, and I was trying to tell you, bro, I put it in practice. There's flies all around the garbage can. I used to go out there hating on them. They'd be all, man, hitting my mouth, hitting my ear, flies. So if I go down there, hey, to the flies. I see the God in you. I love you. Even when they come, there's someone fly in my car and then they just fly away. They don't fuck with me. I'd be like, I love you. If it wasn't for you, we'd have dead flesh, rotten flesh all over the place, just stinking everything up. So now I go down there, they don't even touch me. I can walk right through them.
Yeah.
I used to go through all like this. You know what I mean? No,
Yeah.
I walk right through and it makes away.
That's what's up.
Yeah, it's the vibration of love, bro. Same way Jazzy used to move through situations. You know what I mean? They were shooting. Yeah, they were shooting. You see that bullet whiz past your ear? I thought it was a mosquito. Okay, Donald Trump. That's what the future president said. He thought the bullets, after hearing the shots, thought it was a mosquito. But technically, the bullet would go past you before you hear the shots. They say if you get shots off and it's a headshot or something, you'll never hear the shot. That's crazy.
It's faster than the speed of sound.
Yeah.
The bullet is traveling. Oh, did we do announcements?
Let's see. We did not. Go ahead with the
Okay.
announcements and let's big up our sponsors.
It's Jacko Slacko's born day today.
Big
Happy
old,
born
big
day.
old. Big
Yeah.
old, big old.
I hung out with him on Sunday for it, but he's celebrating the day.
Did he put some conch in his hair and get his hair fresh, slicked back for his birthday?
But now he don't really do the conch no
You
more.
don't conch it. Yeah, you can't conch it after a while.
Well, he just got a shortcut.
Mm-hmm.
He cool with that.
All right. He don't conch it no more.
Wears his hats.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The little derbies or brims. Yeah. That's right. He's back into stepping and stuff.
Nah. Not too
there's
much.
money
He don't
there.
go out too much. Yeah.
He could be a stepping coach.
Yeah, it's definitely a whole lot of stepping classes.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that. But happy birthday, brother, and many more turns around that sun up there.
He got out there and pantomimed a little bit, just to
Did you video? No.
No, I didn't know he was about to do that.
Yeah.
It was just half a little verse or something. He was just showing off for a second. That's all.
Yeah, you guys don't get footage.
He didn't do the whole song.
Yeah, you're not in Hollywood. In Hollywood, we be like, do that again. Take two. You know what I mean? Shit. Yeah, fuck the moment. We gotta get that. Slap him again. Run into his car again so I can get it on film. But yeah, happy birthday, good brother. And y'all, as always, stop the blicky. Big ups to our sponsors, Midwest Festivals, and also Weenie in the Butt. 97. Well, we've got that later. We don't have that now. Yeah. Oh, man, I was looking, man. We had Diesel on the mouthpiece. I didn't, ignorant. We got that on this playlist, but I didn't have it on the other one, and I couldn't. Oh, you wait on mouthpiece included and people talking. That's ignorant. Just gonna be playing that. Well, let them talk. We're not gonna debate. You know what I mean? Come on the show, spouting nonsense.
I watched some of the show.
Yeah, it's 3 hours. I'm like, shit. It was supposed to be a short one. It took us 30 minutes to do a 90-second segment. It's supposed to be the speed round, 30 seconds.
Oh my God.
God bless the copper color. We don't even try to follow instructions, man. If I was a teacher, bro, I would have been beating the shit out of kids in the public school. Big ups to Mark Luster.
I called you. You were like, show's still on. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know.
Oh,
so then
man.
that's when I cut it on. I was like, oh, we cut it on.
Yeah. All right, y'all. If y'all missed last week's show, Spooky Action at a Distance, the Donald Trump failed assassination, a shot at the Second Amendment. Was it a big fat hoax? Was it a false flag? Was it a, what do you call it, friendly fire? You know, we unpacked it.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
You should go check it out. Check it out.
That video is being suppressed, bro, because we had like, overall, it was like, at least it said people watching at one time, it was like, at the max, it said 12. And right now, it's got 9 views. Man, they're suppressing the shit out of that. Probably the AI thing you got by your computer.
Yeah. No, it's not that. That's not affecting the computer at all.
All right. So yeah, y'all. So tune in, and today's warm-up poll question is, are we gods? You'd have to simply go to the TATN page and then click on the community tab and vote anonymously. Are we gods? It's got a small G in there. I didn't want to offend any of the goofies, and that's goofy with a capital what?
G.
Yeah.
Capital Goofy. GOFFNY.
Boy, Self and I be
If
around.
that's how you spell it, I think so.
Self, I be having conversations with people and they be thinking I'm agreeing with them. Because, I'm just getting to that money. They'd be like, yeah, we got to vote for Trump because they seriously be like, I know he's racist. These be rich white folks. Self, I be, I do. I don't call them ignorant. They be thinking I'm agreeing with them. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, I'll be in my moment. That way I can have fun with it. Otherwise, I'd turn around and say something I'll regret. You know what I mean? You ignorant. You ignorant. I think I need to start having that. Yeah, I know what I got to do. Mm-hmm. Exactly what I got to do. Have a little running track of that and just, you know what I mean, my playlist. You ignorant. You ignorant.
You're not in your vehicle. Nope. Don't do that.
No, I just have it in real low. It'll be in the subconscious. Like the way our guest the week before last. Brilliant words. Who was I telling? It's almost like having a book and not putting page numbers in it. A reference book even, and you don't have a point of reference. I love the concept. Like for drill rap, that would be a brilliant concept. Make the lyrics so low, maybe it's in the subconscious or something. Maybe not. No, that's not good because you probably won't know you've been listening to that. Next thing you know, you got a Draco out there and you're jumping out the car and you're running up on somebody with a rifle. And these guys, God bless them. They're all gods. In my opinion. But yeah, y'all do the poll out there right now. Some interesting results. 33% of us do not feel like we are gods. No, there is only one God. That's it. Monotheism, but mighty funny. All the nobody cares what the ancients talked about. They were just hairy savages.
Well, they don't care what the Bible says either.
No, they don't care.
It says put no gods before me, then that means there are other gods.
Yeah, but they don't care.
That's all.
They don't care about that. They don't, because they didn't talk about that in Sunday school. Nobody ever emphasized that. And if you raise your hand and brought that, you'd have been a problem. And if you did that at William H. Ray School, they'd have gave you a big hearing aid as big as this. They'd have made it white, nowhere near the color of your body, and put you in the slow
they didn't
classes.
Have church at Ray School. Thank God for that.
Yeah, I don't think they believed. You want me to be 100%? There was a lot of wacky liberals pushing that area to teachers, but Hyde Park is a conservative part of the city, so they get the snow shoveled last, shit like that. They get the garbage pickup last. It's been a long thing going on in the city. You know what I mean? Yeah. But all right, let's move on, y'all. Terrence Howard, Madman the Genius. This is part 3. So pink crime out there. Is this pink crime? No, I went too fast. Oh, Deer on Pig. Big ups to CBS Chicago, and rest in peace, Sonia Massey. Hey, bro, this dude, Deer on Pig. Okay. Thank you, Karen.
The Department of Justice and a Springfield church will host a community healing and listening session, giving friends and neighbors a chance to mourn the loss of Sonia Massey.
The Springfield mother was shot to death by a now fired sheriff's deputy after she called 911 for help. Meanwhile, our Dave Savino uncovered new details about that officer's past. And Dave, there are serious questions about why he was hired multiple times.
Erica and Joe, CBS News has uncovered notes from one of Grayson's former police chiefs during a reference check for his next police job. It was a warning of the trouble Grayson had already caused, and it doesn't stop there. Another supervisor said he failed to obey orders, especially during the high-speed chase you're about to see.
This shit is hilarious.
The red flags and warning signs were there prior to Deputy Grayson firing those fatal shots into Sonia Massey.
I damn near pissed my pants when I saw
home alone who called police for help over a possible intruder, but instead ended up with Deputy Sean Grayson. Grayson, who's now charged with her murder, had a troubled career that began with his stint in the Army, a discharge for misconduct, then followed by more accusations of misconduct.
We checked your front yard.
During his time in law enforcement, described as having...
Man, when you see this,
we're at the end of Second
he's still a cop.
Right?
Like with what happened here at his 5th police job when he refused an order by a superior at the Logan County Sheriff's Department to terminate a high-speed chase over a traffic infraction. His speed at times reaching 110 miles per hour.
Are you pursuing? I'm about to terminate. She's flying up 121 right now.
But Grayson didn't stop. He did, however, turn off his lights and siren, but kept going anyways until he hit a deer.
Well, I'll definitely be terminated because a buck just smacked the side of my driver's side door.
Did you violate a direct order from a supervisor about termination?
Yes, I did.
Grayson was questioned by a deputy chief and other top staff after that crash in Logan County.
Do you agree, before we conclude this, that there's a mountain of policy violations that you committed? 7 months on, how are you still employed by us?
I don't know.
Yet he continued to get a pass over and over again. Even during the Logan County hiring process of Grayson, there were warning signs from another past employer, the Auburn, Illinois Police Department, where he worked in 2022. CBS News obtained these notes from a discussion between the Auburn chief and a representative from Logan County, where Grayson had applied for a new job. It states the Auburn chief said Grayson struggles with report writing, that he was very aggressive with getting drugs. The chief expressed concern that Grayson was too aggressive and that Grayson posted his drug arrests on Facebook. And the chief called him a bragger and was not great with evidence, left items laying around office.
The entire thing makes me sick.
Sangamon County board member Mark Ayers is on the jail committee that authorizes the hiring of new sheriff deputies.
After George Floyd.
He was never informed of any negative notes about Grayson prior to hire, and his background was not shared with the committee.
I would never bring on someone that had that troubled past or that record.
As we have been reporting, Grayson worked for 6 police agencies since 2020, ending with Sangamon County, where he was entrusted to help residents in need like Sonia Massey. Board members Ayers said he wants changes in the hiring and screening process, along with a background review of all current sheriff deputies. There's going to be a lot.
What was it? 6 and 4 years, Self? And he keeps getting hired?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
That murder is on the person who hired him's hands. The person who hired him, this is the level we got to, has got to now start being charged with those murders. That's level. It's like a RICO. They're a gang, right?
I mean, they have to stop these people from getting work in that field. Period.
You start hitting some of these departments with federal RICO charges. And I agree with you.
I mean, shit, this shit is ridiculous. Happens over and over and over again.
He lied, cut his lights off, this idiot. That damn deer never saw him coming. And then lied and said the deer ran into the side of his truck, his car. I'm going to get fired now. And God was trying to warn him, one of the guys, if you believe in him. But he doesn't, obviously. He was getting his signals. He was getting the whole society was getting their signals and warnings. Straighten yourself out.
They were supposed to handle that.
Yep.
Man, how did he go through 6 jobs in 4 years?
4 years.
How was he allowed to keep working? How did he get 6 jobs?
Well,
He's
you
a
saw
problem on all of them.
he's so-called drop dead gorgeous and smart, so-called, allegedly. I mean, it's the white privilege. It's the same reason why that guy could walk around, the Trump place and climb up a wall with an AR rifle. But now they're saying nobody saw him with the gun, blah, blah, blah. So maybe the spooks left the gun up there. Maybe he never had a gun, Self. Maybe he was just up there with the viewfinder and he was set up like those Boston bomber kids, who didn't set off any explosives. Maybe, allegedly, in my opinion. I don't know. Rest their souls. Terrence Howard, Madman or Genius, part 3 of 3. All right, bro. But is this tyranny? Yes, that's tyranny.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping that some bitch.
Yeah, that's tyranny.
Working. That's ridiculous. All of those departments.
Life
and
in jail.
They had him still there after that.
Well, life in jail, and what frequency during that term is he going in the slap machine?
Probably 22
daily?
hours a day.
Wow.
After that, more.
That's inhumane.
For a week.
And I'd be playing a video. I just played the part where she's like, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I just be playing that over and over in this room in a loop over and over and over so that demon can come out of him.
He said, don't do that.
Yeah, didn't he?
Better not do that. I'll shoot you in your fucking face.
Shoot you right in your fucking face.
Oh, my God.
That's crazy. He sounded like a little kid, bro. I mean, Self, I'll be making jokes when I'm rolling around like, I'll shoot you in your penis like Butters. You know what I mean? And I'm joking. And I'm not a cop. Shoot you right in your damn penis. All right, here we go. Like Butters. Yeah, you got to watch that episode. Butters are shooting everybody in their penis. And the Cartman said, you can't shut guys in their dick. You know what I'm saying? It's a great episode, bro. Butters, that's me. Yeah. All right. Terrence Howard, Madman of Genius. Pink Crime. Pink Angels out there. So I've been trying to be on there and ask you. I'm not going to say too much about them because they're a California clique. Yeah.
Want to move on here to an entire chapter of the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club arrested as part of a kidnapping, robbery,
finally.
and
We've been
assault
talking
probe.
about this for years.
We're talking 5 active members of the Bakersfield Hells Angels, including the group's president and vice president, plus 2 members of an affiliate club. Law enforcement seizing around 25 firearms, ammunition, multiple high-capacity magazines, and gang affiliate paraphernalia. Want to bring in Morgan Chesky, who is on this for us. Morgan, what charges are these men facing? What do we know about this investigation?
They're all reading the script.
Yasmin, the question of charges here is somewhat fluid as the members of the club have not been formally charged just yet, but law enforcement officials do tell us that the litany of potential crimes here include kidnapping, robbery, making criminal threats, false imprisonment, assault with a firearm, participation in a criminal street gang, criminal conspiracy, intimidating a witness or victim, and elder abuse. Now, we've also learned one of the 7 suspects, John Vaughn, was actually already in custody as a result of other charges. But all of these men are said to be from Bakersfield, California, that specific chapter. Authorities have identified those men as Ricardo Alvarez, Armando Villasenor, Joseph Soto Sr., Joseph Soto Jr., Joshua Zavala, and John Seeger. And new photos in tonight. Some of the club paraphernalia that authorities seized. In fact, you can see
Alvarez,
one photo denoting the group Sons of Hell. That's the affiliate club to the Hells Angels here. Other images show signage and club patches signifying the membership into this Bakersfield chapter. All of it just part of this really significant seizure that includes more than 24 firearms. And important context, federal charges could be coming, Yasmin. But at this point, it is still too early to tell.
We can't talk about this, obviously, Morgan, without talking about the pretty controversial history that the Hells Angels have.
Of course.
Probably not too many.
Yeah, certainly one of the most recognizable motorcycle gangs in the country, if not the world here, Yasmin. And their history actually goes back nearly 80 years when they were founded in Fontana, California. That followed World War II. The DOJ officially designates the group as a motorcycle gang and criminal enterprise, alleging the Angels have long been involved in trafficking drugs and firearms. You may know this, but one of the gang's most infamous moments came back in 1969 when the Angels were actually hired to work security at a concert at California's Altamont Speedway. The show, however, ended up in a deadly brawl with 4 people being killed. Among them, an 18-year-old woman who had a gun that a club member stabbed to death. All of this happening as the Rolling Stones played on totally unaware. More recently, though, the group was tied to what's known as the River Run Riot. That was a clash with the rival gang, the Mongols, happening back in 2002 at Harris Casino in Laughlin, Nevada. That left 3 people dead and multiple people injured, Yasmin. But in this specific case, still too early to tell, again, what other charges could be coming at a higher federal level here.
Morgan Chesky for us. Thank you, Morgan. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about it. I don't know what's in the Mongols' heart. But I got a little bit more respect for them than the things I've heard about the Hells Angels. I haven't personally had any issues with them, but I feel like I know more of what's in their heart.
Who are you talking about?
The Mongols. That's their rival. That's their ops.
Yeah,
bro. I was driving on the 405, bro. It was 1 a.m. Raining. Drainage bad out here. Like I'm driving like, you know how you be, whoa. Man, when I'm Mongo, I was doing at least 85. This guy had to be doing 100 in that water, a Mongol. And he just rolled past on the back of his jacket. I'm like, oh yeah, I could never be a Mongol. I said that right then and there. I could never be a Mongol. That motherfucker, boy. I'm in the car riding like a bitch. That motherfucker rolled.
Motorcycle.
Yeah, I don't know if it was MEP or what he had going on in there. And they probably know Self get out on the motorcycle. That's when you can ship all your shit, get all the shit, move them kilos around because the police ain't gonna fuck with nobody doing 100 on a motorcycle in that range. They don't even want to go that fast in an SUV. Bad idea.
They might call up ahead, but
bad idea. Whose idea was it to get a police SUVs? Why don't they have sports cars, something they can handle? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they want to militarize the whole thing, so that's what that was about.
I know they like to say they wanted more room for, you're right, yep, for all those rifles and computers and stuff, yeah. But they claim they want more room for, your passengers, your suspects, but you can just call the SUV when it's time to take them in. You know what I mean? But you saw that in Chicago, they paid all that money for rear-wheel drive SUVs. Like if nobody knew about the wintertime and then 12 was out there getting stuck. If there's nothing more asinine than that. I mean, all right. Like, share, subscribe, you guys. But that's pink crime. It's rarely in the narratives, but looks like the FBI is making some moves, but I just found it funny that a lot of these neonatal groups, neo-national and, these types of clubs, they call them, don't get smacked with the same RICOs they like to give every Pookie, Ray, and Harry.
So-called street gang.
Yeah. Criminal enterprise.
Right.
Little kids on the block.
Right.
Yeah. Terrence Howard, Man or Genius, part 3 of 3, Unpacked. This is the end of it out there. Final, part. There may, okay, let's not forget the dome teaser. We're going to make you guys smarter today. Here's the riddle, and I'm going to drop it into the chat for those who are visual thinkers. Here we go, Self. In a world where waves and curves define a theory that challenges the math we find, if 1 times 1 is not what you see, but rather a number that sets you free, what is the answer to this perplexing view where conventional math just won't do? One more time, because I butchered it. In a world where waves and curves define a theory that challenges the math we find, if 1 times 1 is not what you see, but rather a number that sets you free, what is the answer to this perplexing view where conventional math won't do? Chat. Let's see. It's ridiculous. Okay. Let's see. Okay. But rather, let's get the rest in there. I guess they did have to limit the data you can drop in here because I can only imagine with some hackers and kids young. There you go. That's today's Dome teaser. Y'all got to the end of the show to matriculate. If you can't come up with it, normally Brother Wordsmith gets it. If he doesn't get it, I rarely get a chance to give you guys the solution to that perplexing riddle or equation, I should say. All right, enough of the appetizers out there.
Let's quench the self-love nation's thirst.
All right, there should be a video. Karen, can you play the next one? I think there's one of it. Terrence Howard. Yeah.
About 5 years old, I had another dream. The room filled up with like this dark fluid, and there was a
He could
being
be CIA.
trying to look up at him, and I knew his voice, but I did not know who it was. He said to me, "If you could have anything in the world, what would it be?" Now, we were really poor, but I said to him, "I want to know how everything works." He used his left hand and he opened up the door, and there was this mansion, big brown doors.
It was Hermes
Inside of it was this crystalline flowers. And every time I tried to see his face, he would reach in and
to the halls of Memento.
another shape. And I was so fascinated because they didn't look like the platonic solids that I woke up from that dream. After that moment, anytime something strange would happen in a dream, I had the powers of inception, and I would find that mansion again. And I had access to all the knowledge. The proof of it is the 97 patents that I have. And that voice that I heard, that's my voice now.
I'd have been like, man, how frequently do you have these dreams? When was the last time you had one? Can you go there every time you want? You know what I mean? Can you go tomorrow and come back and tell us what you saw? Do you know what I'm saying, Self?
Yeah. Well, I'm
not doubting
it. Right, but it doesn't seem like it happens all the time. He said
Correct.
when he realized he's in that dream.
Correct, because he said when he was 5, and then he said, yeah, now when he realizes he's dreaming. So, yeah, he don't all the time realizes he's dreaming. Yeah. That's that lucid dreaming, bro. It's tough because once I realize I'm dreaming, I wake up. I tend to wake up. I'd be trying to hold on to it. It'd be like,
man, can't go back.
I tell you what. When I do be waking up, man, I didn't won the fucking $1 billion lottery in a dream. So, which means it happened in a parallel universe. Won the $1 billion. Stayed in the dream all the way through to where I cashed and had the money, and I was about to go ape shit with it. And guess what? Oh, I'm dreaming. Yeah, this is some bullshit. Yeah. Woke up out there, Self. I was just about to spend the money, man. You know what I'm saying? At least let me spend the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn. All right. I remember that dream, though. I don't remember 98% of my dreams. I don't remember 99 point something percent.
Yeah. You and me both.
Yeah. I'd be like, I'm going to remember this one.
And I'll write it down, and then that's what they say you're supposed to have a journal and just jot down what you do remember.
Yeah. But even that comes out as gullet because you're in between states.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
don't feel like I really dream every day. I don't even feel like I fully be asleep. Some nights I'm resting, but
yeah.
That deep sleep that you're supposed to get out there.
All right, so we're gonna cue this up. He's actually queued up. Guess we gotta put us to the side so we don't. We're not gonna run through all of it, but we're gonna run through a good portion. Something don't seem right. You getting that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I don't
It's on
hear
the
it though.
feed too.
Yeah, but it ain't. I didn't put the sound on. Karen's on break. She's calling the cops. Some black guy that was outside looking at it. It's his car, Karen. Share sound.
He said me a little older than me, so they was doing that in the rooms, man. And I was like, yo, I was intrigued by that, man, watching Rap City
Something else.
every Saturday at my grandma's house. My other uncle, Robert Morrison, he got a Grammy, bro.
All right, there we go. Terrence Howard Experience. I said Joe Rogan appeared on the Terrence Howard Experience. All right, part one, y'all. We're gonna run through this. Everyone is wrong. The universe backs me up. That's Terrence Howard, everybody. So we're just gonna play some of this. He's saying that anyone can do these things. Yahusha was saying that as well, and Thoth and the other. All of your ancestors are saying anyone can do it. But you just need to go to the divine space. So everybody who's ever done anything, whether it's a wacky magician, some of them are probably doing real stuff and some of them are just, most of them are sleight of hand. But they all claim that they go to a divine space. I mean, I don't know.
This is what we've done.
I didn't learn that at Ray School. Nobody taught me about divine. Smartest school in the city, public school. According to the man, you're on mute. Whatever you're spewing about Drop Dead Gorgeous Ray School, we didn't.
They definitely wouldn't teach you that at Ray School. Anything about that at all. If you're spewing any of that, they're gonna get you out of there. You're gonna get you right in the dummy class.
Would you say something? They might have done it when the blacks went to the bathroom or showed up. They might have been teaching those other ones stuff like that. Yeah, they wasn't telling us that. All right, pickups. Here we go.
Collective is able to do when you put yourself into the divine space. Because that spirit is waiting. It's just like, okay, are you going to make yourself available? None of them have introduced a new, and the contractive side is the positive, the masculine side. It's a balance, and it's never been anything but that balance, and we've complicated
you got makeup on
with a lie.
If you're right,
so
many people are wrong.
Everyone's wrong. Oh, well, the universe backs me up, and I have the proof of it. You have all these physicists that's saying something different, but none of them have 97 patents.
Do you think he and Drew could understand each other?
None of them have introduced a new form of flight with unlimited midair bonding.
He could understand Drew.
None of them have discovered force.
He would probably understand Drew more. I don't think Drew's going to listen.
Right. I mean, I don't think he'll understand Drew either. So
they would have a tough conversation.
Oh, well, the universe backs me up, and I have the proof of it. You have all these physicists that's saying something different, but none of them have 97 patents. None of them have introduced a new form of flight with unlimited midair bonding. None of them have discovered 4 supersymmetrical systems.
This is why we're here. We want to see what this is.
This is what we've done. This is what the collective is able to do when you put yourself into the divine space. Because that spirit is waiting. It's just like, okay, are you going to make yourself available for it?
So let me ask you this. If I had a magic wand and I allowed you to not just show this, but allowed all of these people that have these opposing ideas, you debate them, you duke it out, you emerge victorious, okay? With this magic wand, and now people go, just listen to Terrence. What do we do?
Well, then we write new axioms and new postulates based off the real wave conjugations. Now we adjust our understanding of our physics to fit natural phenomena. And then we are in balance with it, and we have to let go of the idea of this currency. We're the only creatures in the known universe that uses currency.
All right, we want to go here, but you got any comment on anything he said up until this point? Because then we're going to get to him talking about moving past currency.
Yeah, it makes a whole lot of sense because a lot of what he's saying is it's true. It sounds natural. It
yes, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, if all the science is built off so-called math and the math is wrong, then that's why they can't expound, and that's why they claim that they can't have vehicles fly like flying saucers or so, whatever, UAPs or whatever they are, that they say, well, we got some of those too now, but
Well,
they're still saying that the physics that we have can't do that or explain that.
Right. Right.
So it's got to be something different.
And it's with the Choctaw
And they're very closed off about it.
And other indigenous people would have been saying to those who came here when they were just chopping down all the trees and killing all the buffalo, like, look, man, we wait till the buffalo gets old, man, it's about to die anyway before we do that. And we don't waste any of it.
Yeah.
You know, we honor that buffalo's life, like that tree. We wait till those trees are dead and they're standing there and they're about to fall. Like, you know what I mean? And because we don't waste, we don't have to chop.
Right.
Yeah. And so I think he's, in my mind, he's saying, if you work with nature and the universe, it works with you.
Yeah.
Things will
be a balance.
Yes. Things will be easier and not harder.
Oh, I watched some more of that Weinstein episode with him and
yeah, CIA. They put the CIA on his ass.
Man, they definitely put him on him.
Yeah,
he tried to act like he was being friendly with them and throwing bricks.
Yes, both of them were.
He started off early.
Yeah, he got his confidence.
You talking about Joe Rogan? You know, he's gonna roll with anybody he thinks is smarter than him anyway.
And
so
Joe Rogan is a spook as well.
Yeah, I mean, gotta be.
Yeah, when you have this type of platform, you're only gonna, you know what I mean? The disinformation, like, he's a disinformation specialist too. That's why he brought the guy in. He brought in a disinformation specialist, and it was classic Self. They got him drunk, had him drink. It was classic, bro. Like, I'm just surprised he fell for it, and Howard's team, like, didn't have him more prepared than it.
I think he was kind of prepared, but dude just kept stopping him. He couldn't never explain.
But he was drunk. He got to a point where he was drunk.
The dude was drunk too. Otherwise, he wouldn't have went like that. Weinstein was dead. He was supposed to be less.
He probably swallowed a pill that kept him from feeling. He's probably on LSD or something else that kept him from feeling the effects of the alcohol.
Maybe he's a great actor because his speech started
that's
changing and all that.
Yeah, I'm not saying he wasn't drunk, but what I'm saying is one of them was a lot more effective under the influence of the alcohol than the other one was, in my humble opinion.
Well, we're
going to get there.
He didn't let him talk at all.
Yeah, we're going to discuss that at the end.
That was the whole thing. I was like, he didn't even let him speak. Every time he started talking about explaining his point of view, he kept telling him stop teaching and all this. You said some great things.
But I think if he wasn't drunk, he would have been able to respond to it more intellectually and tell him to stop cutting me off and things like that. Terrence would cow down, he'd smile, and then take another sip of his drink. That's what I got from it. I said it initially when I told you. I'm like, man, he fell for that. Hook, line, and sinker, bro. Like you should know how much alcohol you could take when you want to be discussing these types of things, bro.
He was drinking the first show.
So, I didn't notice that. I've been watching this whole thing, but if he was, it was nothing like they was like pouring it out. I ain't seen not one drink. I done watched this thing multiple times. I'm not saying he wasn't drinking, but I didn't hear no mention of any alcohol being served or anything, man. They were smoking cigars and stuff. They made it like, he was kind of clowning them in some ways, bro. He was treating them like a little boy.
They was totally clowning.
Yeah, he little boyed him, bro.
He did. That's what he did.
And I think
and told him to stop teaching, stop talking every time he, started explaining his point of view.
Yes.
And he was having his hands throwing bricks.
Yeah, classic. Well, I guess we won't talk about it too much at the end now. That's all right. I didn't have it on the thing, so you didn't know. But yeah, I did have that. Wrap it up with. If that's all right. All right. Now he's talking about moving past currency, and he's also talking about something we've discussed, that what do you call that? Open source. If one person knows something, everyone should know something. And that's how AI is. AI, that's how they learn so fast. They share the information, or they all know it instantly. And we as a society, so people can make money, which shouldn't exist, which is the ghost, we don't share. you know? So everybody's making the same mistakes all over the world when you can be like, oh yeah, we've already done that process. And no, we really didn't go to the moon, in my opinion. You know, stuff like that. You guys are wasting your time. No, we didn't go. You can't get there. There's a firmament.
With this magic wand, and now people go, just listen to Terrence. What do we do?
Well, then now we write new axioms and new postulates based off the real wave conjugations. Now we adjust our understanding of our physics to fit natural phenomena. And then we are in balance with it, and we have to let go of the idea of this currency. We're the only creatures in the known universe that uses currency, that uses an indirect form of payment
Rothschild.
instead of a direct exchange.
Meyer Rothschild.
We have to get past that point, and that's the hard thing, because this entire world is run on that, and that's where the 1 × 1 = 2 came into its real birth.
Well, the thing about currency is it's connected to technological innovation.
You see, it's important when he cuts them off. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So yeah, he could have just let him finish that.
Because of this unlimited potential for growth. And when you have an unlimited potential for growth, you have people that are extremely motivated to make massive amounts of money, and they innovate in a very high way. And then they also implement that innovation in the form of technology.
See, he could cut them off and justify that money.
But their technology is,
because he's rich and he's part of it,
is antiquated compared to mine. There's no government on this planet that has the technology that I have or can outdo what I have, because you can't outdo the fractal.
How many people have you? I know you spoke at Oxford about this, but you didn't speak.
Yeah, they didn't. Oxford did something that broke my heart.
Drop Dead Gorgeous, Oxford. They're prestigious. It's a prestigious. They give everybody a fair shot. Open source learning.
5 minutes
Smart.
before the presentation, they wouldn't allow me to have a screen and show.
They didn't give him a screen.
And show my proof.
Why?
Oh, their computer was down.
Oxford.
And I was like, well, you can use my computer. No, we have sensitive things attached to it.
Yeah.
You know, I just need the projector.
We don't want you to
need
put a
anything
virus in
else,
our shit.
because they didn't want me
Oxford.
to go and talk about this. And that's why I went out there and said, hey, pull out your calculator. I talked about acting for a couple of minutes, for 20 minutes. And then I was like, pull out your calculator. And I want you to enter the square root of 2 in there. And let's walk through this loop that is the square root of 2. I was like, let's walk through this.
What I found interesting, because I watched that Oxford thing. It was a bunch of just saying, no, I'm studying nonsense. No, I'm not. Like none of the so-called Drop Dead Gorgeous, the so-called smart ones, the science ones, you know, none of them showed up and would even have this conversation with him.
No, because they weren't there for that. They didn't think he was there for that either. Shit.
It's crazy. So it wasn't announced, right? You think Oxford didn't think he was there for that either? You think he
and I think it seems like they wouldn't give him the computer thing because they wanted him to talk about being an actor and not be talking about that.
So they didn't know that before he got there, right? Because remember, he would just be dropping it on you. He'd be at the Emmys or whatever, and 1 × 1 is 2. You know what I mean? So you're saying that he was trying to pull it, and probably I want to talk about these conjugations, and they were like, "Man, we're not using our platform for that mumbo jumbo."
I heard him just say he talked about acting for a couple of minutes, and then went to the
20 minutes. Yeah. Started talking about the mumbo jumbo, according to Oxford. But it is you made that look. It's one of the most prestigious universities in the world.
Yeah, and how do you feel about the Ivy League school?
You got to defund them.
Okay, that's how I feel about
Oxford?
them. Yes.
Well, I was going to say, I'd rather attend Chicago State University, which should be our version of Duke. I'm calling out to all the deep pocket black people. We can turn that into our personal Duke University right there on the south side of Chicago. You just got to have vision. And then guess what? We can buy up the property all around there, and McDonald's and all that. All that'll go up, and all those so-called Drop Dead Gorgeous will start walking around there, walking their dogs and stuff, trying to buy your property for you. Yeah. Yeah. You know, you want to see them over there walking their dogs, in yoga pants, getting coffee, walking down it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Look at this neighborhood. Yeah, neighborhood.
Gentrify the whole thing out there and move all of us away from that.
Yeah, to the south and the west suburb. Yeah, further and further away from the city. They move us around. It's convenient for them. Because it's a shell game with the banking, and we'll get that in games production. It's 2 videos that were the best videos that I saw in my life, and none of them stayed up longer than an hour. The one with your boy, I always forget his name, the Muslim from Compton.
Oh yeah.
He was talking about vaccines.
Yes, you man, and be out of there.
He got booted from YouTube after that one. And so now, what I've told myself, and that's why they're putting it out there, when I come across that, I got to start screen recording.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll let you download. I don't know. So
if you pay for the premium thing, you can download, but they still might snatch it. But once it's on your device,
I don't know.
The problem with downloading their stuff is still, and it's not like it's a file you can just take and play anywhere. It's
correct.
It's
so
they'll
delete the download probably. I'm sure, but I can screen record like
that's what you can do.
But what it was,
what is it?
What they did, they were showing everything we've talked about on the Self Love Show, everything, the Bush family, the Rothschilds, but they were showing it like it was a 50s, a 60s TV show, and they were like chapter 1, and they were doing it just like Hollywood does, but they were spitting all facts. I was sitting there. My comment was pure, unadulterated genius. I was like, every kid in America needs to sit down and watch this. Oh, that couldn't be out there. But it said it was taken down by the uploader.
Must have got a strike or something.
All right. Yeah, but Oxford's computer were down. We talked about that. Why do you think their computer was down? I don't think their computer was down.
Not at all. He had his own computer.
And that's what he's saying. Don't be disingenuous and lying to me. You know what I mean?
Just want to use the
yeah, just tell me I can use your shit. You know what I mean? Just say y'all want me to stick to acting. You want me to come in coon. You wanted me to come in fletching. Just tell me that. That's how I be coming at people now. I know how to be passive aggressive passive. I'm not mad. All right, my bad. I started playing it and I'm not even sharing. All right. Get Karen off break.
Divided by 2 and cube it again, you get back to you take the square root of 2, 1.414213562373095. You cube it, it's 2.828427121746190. Divided by 2, it gets back to 1.414. Cube it again is back to 2.828. Divided by 2, back to 1.414. Here we're taking 1, 2, 3 big steps. We're dividing it by 2, and we get back to the same value as we had in the very beginning. That's a loop. That's x cubed being equal to 2x.
I used to catch a bunch of that stuff when I was a kid playing with the
unnatural
calculator.
equation. And every quantum mechanics and quantum physics equation has that square root of 2 in there. We've been living in this lie, this fostered lie.
Then when you catch the math not mathing, I know you did it, messing around with numbers in your calculator, they give you that error message. The same thing ChatGPT be doing. We can't talk about that.
Yeah, boy, they'd be like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then if you keep trying to talk about it, it just goes to start over.
Yep. We can't have this conversation no more. And then the calculator, same thing, it'll freeze, won't it? With the error message, you can't even go back. Yeah. Yeah, like this guy's figuring out the math ain't mapping. All right, let's see. Self got something in the chat here before. When'd you come up with that? How long ago did you come up with that approximately?
During one of the videos I was playing, and I didn't want to mess with the screen because I didn't know how it was going to affect the show. So
okay.
So after the video
earlier, okay,
right? I think right during the preview or the promo.
Man, my mouse is in some kind of there we go, crazy mode. I fixed it. Right.
For so long. Because
and what's the solution to that?
The solution is learning how to multiply volumetrically, how the universe multiplies. And I've already produced all of these things.
Universal
Could you explain that though to the layperson? How does the universe multiply volumetrically as opposed to the way
it does not move? Does it linearly? It does not walk on. All of our math is based upon a two-dimensional projection. What they do in calculus, they will reduce the action of all things. They'll keep trying to reduce it down to one moment because they believe Newton's first law that everything moves in a straight line, or everything is still until acted upon. They forget that everything is in motion, and that concert of motion is a necessity. They have to include all the other forces involved in order to have equanimity in their equations.
And so how, in a practical sense, does this affect mathematics?
Well, once we let go of Cartesian space and the 90-degree angles, well, picture this. Let's take another practical place. Look at a computer chip. It has all of these 90-degree turns on it, typically, where they run the electricity. Can you imagine running at 186,624
this
miles
is something
a second
simple they could try.
in one direction, and you hit a
computer
wall,
chip.
and you've got to stop, bounce off of that wall, and then you pick up your speed and you bounce off the next wall, and you bounce off the next and next and the next and the next. How much heat are you building up? How much friction is being built up from the interference in comparison to if it was just spherical, just going around? It would build up no heat. And if you allow it to be spiral, which my patent was talking about, that first patent was talking about, you're able to utilize all that energy so you don't need the cooling systems. You don't need all of this loss or entropy. None of that occurs.
I mean, this guy
when you
comes out
go
here.
by
Hold it. Can you imagine how the Rothschild family feels and the 13 families in charge at the top of this thing in the bathroom watching this guy talk about no more money?
They know what's up. They know what's up.
But I'm saying
they're trying to delay it as long as they can.
Yeah.
They know what's up.
Yeah.
Project Looking Glass tells them every time they try to mess with it that it's up. They shit is up. So
the big bad for me.
Plus, they ain't gave no fuck about how we feel, and I'm returning the favor.
Standards. That's all they have to do is follow what the universe does. We have the contractive side, patented, ready and available. We have the expanded side, patented, worked out already, ready and available, and we've got the Constitution between the two of them.
But how does that affect in a practical use?
Yeah, how many times I asked?
If you're using math on a calculator, what is wrong with what the calculator is saying?
How many times he keep asking himself in a practical sense, in a practical, just, you know what I mean? He came up with two practical uses. We'll get there. One of them was the lighting, which was brilliant. The CIA dude loved the lighting, didn't he? Yeah, we can sell those lamps. I like that. And I'll put these little trinkets you built. These are nice trinkets. Yeah, he's being very dismissive.
I'll put them right on my mantle.
Yeah, it's be a paperweight. I'll wipe my ass with that one.
He gonna be studying the hell out of it. Is what he would do.
Yes, instilling it. Yes.
Yes.
Discredit him so he give up, and then years later you'll say Galileo invented it. Because I still have trouble.
Or he'll say he invented it.
Right.
Himself.
Right. He'd be Galileo in a sense. In that case, Galileo did that to, some other poor copper colored, that's what I believe a lot was happening back in the day. Because, the math don't be math and what all the discoveries and all the stuff they try to say one person did. Physically, if you sit there, like Benjamin Franklin is one, he's wrote like 2,000 books or some shit they try to say. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but it's a lot. And then when you sit there and you do the math, he'd have had to been a speed typer. He'd have had to not taking a shit. He'd had to not gone to sleep, not pissed, not ever hit writer's block. So I don't know if he was plagiarizing, if he was just publishing these.
He didn't just write books too. He was a discovery
inventor
stuff.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so
was building contraptions and running government in a business. Pick up Ben Franklin. We're not here to trash Ben Franklin.
Possibly a spy.
Yeah, he might have been swarthy.
Allegedly.
He might have been swarthy.
Definitely swarthy.
Yeah, if he did all that.
Calculator right now is still saying that we're on a linear path. And it's just multiplying things in a in a compartmentalized space.
So by reductionist viewpoint, by breaking things down to simple numbers, that you really can't just do that.
You can try to do it, but it's like the piano. Remember the piano, the earlier pianos, they had, before they compartmentalized, and everything was, remember that everything in the universe expands as a sphere. Everything.
Talk about the piano.
Even music expands as a sphere. But what they did with the piano is they took all the 12 notes and then they just start them all over again instead of accounting for the expansion, that space. So you would never, if you're looking at the periodic table, you would never get to the titanium.
You're saying you would assume that they don't
rubidium
exist if
or
they
to the
didn't teach
C.
you that at Drop Dead Gorgeous William H. Ray School Music School, or when I was going to the Rockefeller Chapel and they were teaching me music theory. And I rejected it, and I rejected it. It wasn't fun. They took all the fun out of it, made me. It wasn't my butt cheeks singing all types of nonsense for the white people. Felt funny. Felt cheap. You know what I mean? Felt cheap. And I think it was bum training.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
So, hey.
You know, there. Bum grooming, I should say. You know.
Bum training.
Yeah. Next thing you know, I'm at lab school, you know, and then I'm at University of Chicago, then I'm some prick, you know what I mean? And they run me out there, he's a billionaire. You know what I mean? They run me out there. Then I come out there and wear my pink and green and show up at the church every blue moon and tell y'all who to vote for and shit. You know what I mean? Tell you, take that vax. You better take that shot. You ain't black if you don't take that vax. All right, but hold on. We're going to take a quick break, but I got to see where we are here. Yeah, you ain't black if you don't take that back. Fuck out of here.
There becomes a cube sphere. They're expanding out. So they have to allow that, but their math doesn't allow it because it believes in a two-dimensional space. And remember, there are no two-dimensional spaces because in order for anything to be perceived, it has to be measurable. And measurable needs 3 dimensions, but it actually needs 4. It needs your perspective.
Wow. We'll stop right there. But listen, you want to unpack that? Wow. He's saying the 4th dimension is consciousness. I think that's what he was driving at.
He said your perspective. So
yeah,
everything is consciousness, but your perspective is a dimension because
he said for something to be measured. Go ahead.
There is to the universe that you're observing something creates something happening.
Yes.
So they've done plenty of experiments.
That's it. Yeah, everything's in a superposition in the universe. It's in a superposition until there's an observer, allegedly.
Yeah. It's in motion where it's at until it's put into action.
Yeah. And according to parallel universe theory, Self, say you observe it and it shows you there's a parallel universe where all of those were revealed to you.
Yeah.
Right? You walk out in the street and you didn't see that car and you stop. Then there's a universe where you didn't see that car and you kept going and you got hit.
Yeah.
All of it, allegedly, according to parallel universe theory. That's what happens. That's what's going on out
there. Parallel universes, because any decisions that you make that go off in a different direction.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's actually universes, yeah. Let's see here. Let's get Karen back. Wrong. All right.
Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is what we represent.
It's the Self Luv Show.
The Self Luv Show. The Self Luv Show. We do it for our people. The Self Luv Show. It's the Self Luv Show. It's the Self Luv Show. To expose they don't equal. The Self Luv Show. The Self Luv Show. The Self Luv Show.
Story Wordsmith 9 Mills.
The Self Luv Show.
You know how the story go. Yes, y'all. Don't stop. Terrence Howard, Madman or Genius? Part 3, the finale. So, moving forward in the conversation, and it's expanding. Got some great videos to edutain you for a few minutes. And then we're going to expand this conversation.
You know how the story goes. It's the Self Love Show.
Joe, who do you credit for helping you to rise above the environmental stressors as a shorty?
Man, my brothers, really my brotherhood, you know what I mean? I had a good foundation, you know what I'm saying, with some real solid brothers, you know what I'm talking about? Like cats that were real influential to me. They raised their kids, you know what I mean? They worked their jobs, they provided for their families, you know what I mean? They were street dudes, but they was thorough though. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, man, I credit my team. You know what I mean? Because, man, I'm notorious throughout the streets. You know what I'm saying? For being like, as a shorty, we was really like in it. We was out there. You know what I'm saying? So I had a reputation for that. But these brothers, they saw my potential and they curved me from what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? So we've been together, man, 20 plus years, man. So that's what it is. Secret society. All we ask is trust. You hear me?
That's amazing that you said that, because there's a narrative going around that a lot of the OGs wasn't well, it may be true, it may not be true, but they a lot of the OGs was just creating crash test dummies, send-offs. But it sounds like to me you was getting some knowledge, some wisdom, some understanding.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been spreading, that's the thing. I ain't selfish with the jewels that I pick up along the way. You know what I'm saying? I spread them joints. So I've been helping the brothers, like my peers. You know what I'm saying? I always been the one walking in front of them. You know what I'm saying? So the things that I was picking up from bro them, you know what I'm saying? I always been spreading it, just trying to enlighten my brothers or whatever. But yeah, that's facts though.
We've got one who can see.
That's what's up. Because in that light of that whole, what you said, what advice would you provide a shorty contemplating jumping off the porch in 2023?
Don't do it.
Hey bros, what's going on? This is Cotton. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.
Do you still have them?
When he was shot in the back.
Family members of the victim say he was complying with police before he was shot 4 times in the back.
I want to repeat that. He was sitting on a marked black and white police motorcycle in full uniform, and he was shot in the back.
One deputy shot him with beanbags, another shot him 4 times in the back.
And if he's willing to do that, I'm sure he's willing to shoot at anybody else. And we collectively, all of us, need to get him off the street.
Moses fleeing the people from Pharaoh.
Right, let my people go.
40 years in a desert.
Manna.
Let's talk about what manna truly is. And
Agnosti's in the Middle East right now saying manna is Peter.
Can we put some sensibility to that? Being in the desert, and our Father, the Creator, loves us beyond. He's gonna rain down bread in a desert. Moses summoned the strongest men for them to dig, and that's where the whole term of so it is above, so it is what?
Below.
That means that Moses had the science for them to dig and find water.
Yeah, like the elephants can do.
So what do you find, even in a desert, when you dig down and find water? Do you find bread or do you find plants?
Brother,
I'm wiping it though. I'm gonna wipe it. I'm gonna
what's
wipe
up.
it. I'm gonna
That's
say,
what's
hey,
Tori's oldest brother. Between us, Tori made me at Beta. And so, he just wanted to say a few words before we let you go here.
okay, yeah,
Brother Thomas, thank you so much for gracing us with your appearance, man. Grateful. You expanded our nation beyond belief. It's just a wonderful thing. And we would like to present you with the Self Luv Show first annual Ernest Lee Thomas Achievement Award.
oh man,
It's
oh my
apropos
God,
that you are
man,
the
don't
first
do that to
recipient.
me.
And Noop, we call it the Raj.
We're gonna call it the Rise.
Oh, I love it. Oh man,
Yeah, so
oh
we
my
have it on
God.
order. So it's gonna come here. We're gonna show it to the show, and then myself or Tasia deliver it to you or ship it to you from there.
Thank you, brother.
Man, thank you guys for inviting me on. Thank you. Great format, very solid. It don't have that low budget movie feel. You know what I'm saying? And we get that a lot in the Black community, for real.
Yeah.
Like people look at us to be fuck ups. They look at us to be low budget. They look at us to be ignorant, stuttering, and use a whole bunch of and all of that. But no, they got the real deal on here. That everybody know who Torian Mills is, baby. They know.
Hey, well, bro,
They so ignorant, man.
ignorant.
They're so
Hey, but this platform's your platform. Stand by, Karen.
My
Platform from Inglewood, California
to
to
the
Chicago,
South Shore.
Crazy thing about it.
This platform is
made
for you
and me.
It's made for you.
The crazy
Ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. I was trying to get out the end of the preamble, but go ahead, bro.
Yes, y'all. Don't stop. Self Luv Show. Rocks.
The Self Luv Show, the Self Luv Show, the Self Luv Show. We do it for our people.
Yes. We're back. Terrence Howard, Madman or Jinx.
Reaction video. We're going to put that in the title somewhere. I think we can get away with more.
Yeah. Reaction to the Joe Rogan interview.
Yep.
Talked about the first part of it. This is part 3, so it's supposed to be the finale. So we're at it.
Yeah, if he comes out with what we're about to show you guys, once all that comes out, or if he comes back out there with more information, we may open the series back up, huh, so? I don't think this is the last we heard of this guy.
Not at all. Just the last of this interview, really. So he's still open, for discussion. But this interview won't be.
Facts. And if something happens to him negatively, God forbid, then it's going to take on a life of its own.
Absolutely.
People like that. Get some sort of martyr. Somebody gets shot talking about sort of free energy and we don't need money. And some of the stuff he's going to get into in a minute here, saying we're the, fourth dimension and we got all the power. It's kind of stuff that gets you fired from Hollywood.
Well, they've already kind of not letting him do his
thing. That's what I'm saying.
So,
because he was probably talking wacky stuff like this all on the set, trying to wake people up and, tell him right around there saying, he's at his contract, negotiating his contract. 1 times 1 is 2. You know what I'm saying? And, so I need twice as much of what you offer me so I can give some of it to the pink man over here. So Iron Man can be in the show. We'll get into that later. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand some of these decisions we make, but we're all God in my mind. Well, I don't want to tell you what I did. You guys get on that poll too, please. We want to hear from you guys. What do you think of yourself? Are you a guy? I should ask. That's going to be my next question. If you had to choose, are you a god or are you a nothing slug on a meaningless ball hurling through space at 280,000 miles? You know what I mean? And big ups to the slugs.
You are the fourth dimension, and
We're the
that's
fourth
what
dimension. That's what he
Walter
said.
Russell also talked about, that it was four things. First does, we have the contractive side, patented,
Watch it.
ready and available. We have the expanded side, patented, worked out already, ready and available, and we've got the Constitution between the two of them.
But how does that affect in a practical use? If you're using math on a calculator, what is wrong with what the calculator is saying?
The calculator right now is still saying that we can try to do it, but it's like the piano. Start them all over again instead of accounting for the expansion, that space. So you would never, if you're looking at the periodic table, you would never get to the titanium or to the rubidium or to the cesium, because they would all keep it with just the 7 tones. They don't allow
So those
for
people
the
with pianos that
necessary
got all that
expansion,
shit.
so you don't have all of these other
He said the old
isotopes
pianos had all those notes.
to use, because they keep things here. You don't allow your child, nope, you're not going to get taller.
Yeah.
I need you to stay just at 4 feet. That's the height. That's
Over there
that's
reading
how
them
high
damn
you can go.
books.
You will now be allowed to grow
You ain't
further.
gonna learn nothing in them
And we
damn books.
naturally keep growing and
Need to get
expanding
a
out.
job.
So they have to allow that, but their math doesn't allow it, because it believes in a 2-dimensional space.
Here we go.
And remember, there are no 2-dimensional spaces, because in order for anything to be perceived, it has to be measurable. And measurable needs 3 dimensions, but it actually needs 4. It needs your perspective. You are the 4th dimension. And that's what Walter Russell also talked about, that it was.
Yeah, anything to be perceived. I don't agree with him here, that for anything to be perceived, it has to be measurable. I perceive many things that I don't believe could be measured.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
I'm perceiving a purple apple in my mind right now. I guess that could be measured by some sort of measuring device in my mind.
Yeah. It's a frequency.
Yeah. Bro, I was watching they packed some stuff from Virginia. It was one of those time capsules. You know, it's always a bunch of water and mold in it. Poison. But this damn lady, she's the big historian. And so the news people were like, it says stream unavailable. They even kicked us off, Sal. Wow. They've never done this. We've done this before. Wow. Stream for policy violations. Wow. I mean, how are people unpacking stuff? I see it all the time on these shows.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder, we in stream and come back. Let me stop the share. We stop the share. Your stream is in temporary block because we detected video belonging to someone else. If you plan to continue, please ensure.
So is it gonna let us back up?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. As long as we blah, blah, blah. Let me hit reset here. Not reset, but see if it gets back here. Yes, temporary block because we detected video belonging to someone else. If you plan to continue, please ensure. Yeah, we plan to continue. We've stopped the video. I went to more info and there was no more info. All right, should be about to. Let me see. Yeah, we're back now. All right. Yeah, we're back now. We'll go back to just sound only.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was right. The fact that they let us get away with that 2 times, but I did have it on the big screen this time, full. You know what I mean? I did have that. You know what I'm saying? But we were up there.
You should have doubled the speed just for 1.5 or whatever.
Yeah. But But when I do see people unpacking it, they never have the full video. You know what I'm saying? They always got it like in a corner because it's going to motivate somebody who wants to actually watch the full video without squinting their eyes. Even on Rogan, when he be running other people's video self, they be in a small little box on the side. You know what I'm trying to say? I got to figure out how to do that. If you can do that through Zoom, you know what I'm saying? That, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or just switch to that other thing everybody be using, where you can do that. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right. So all right. Son of a bitch. How dare they?
It's 4 things coming together.
Fair
and
use,
that's
damn it.
what woke me back up. And I was like, 4 bubbles
Now he's showing the
meeting.
shit. Now we need to see.
But he still believed in the idea of straight lines.
Right at that
He was
point.
still hemmed in by it. And he's right. There becomes a cube sphere. There comes a point where everything comes together.
He's showing stuff
But
now.
even, hold on, I'm going to try and pull up.
Is it because that we can create straight lines that we get confused?
We can't create it because even when you look at it under an electron microscope, you'll see all the little curved dots that make it up. There are no straight lines. Like if you look at this.
Even in a box.
If you looked at this, you'll say, oh, that's a
We're
square
gonna
right
We're
there.
going to go past it a little further.
Right in the middle,
So you make all these by hand?
build all those by hand. So what
This is crazy.
that right there is the light. If you take, that's what happens, what happened to Rupert Sheldrake. When you speak against the dude, he said, there's no way this guy knows any of this stuff. Light is blue. No, electricity is blue. Light comes out in yellow and red.
And how is this concept of taking these forces and converting them or representing them as these shapes, how is this received?
Nobody has responded to it. They won't. The universities. I went to Morgan State because of a really, really beautiful brother. Brought me up there to Morgan State because he saw these things. Yeah, no, I'm good. He saw these things and he
just
set
missed
up
that,
an
'cause
entire
you can't see it.
presentation at Morgan.
Joe offered him a drink. And he said, no, I'm good. Now, that don't mean they wasn't drinking at all, but he got to a point where he said, no, I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
Instead of
drinking away and watching this other dude talk.
What's the name? Poured him.
Yeah.
You
The disinformation art? Yeah. You talking about the disinformation artist?
Yeah, whatever he is. He's that was disrespectful, period.
I tell you what, we'll talk about Neil deGrasse Tyson later.
In State. Dr. Bardwell, even though we've got 3 papers that's been peer reviewed, the geometry of the proton and the tetryon, that's been peer reviewed. He said there's no way this guy knows any of this stuff. And so he knows any of the things inside of here. So no one from the science departments showed up. So
see, same thing happened at Oxford.
Children from different schools. And I talked to them.
It's like
a
snooty, it's a cabal. I don't know if I can think of a better word.
And then they brought like 20 PhDs from outside that came in, and I showed them how the universe.
Cabal?
Yeah, religion. Universe.
Yeah.
Really behaves. But none of them spoke on it out because what happened to Rupert Sheldrake. When you speak against the established norm, you get pushed outside. You don't get funding anymore.
Well, I think part of the problem is also that when someone defines someone as one particular occupation, and for you, you're a very talented actor. So you're a very talented actor, in my opinion. And
Thank you.
so people think of you in that way, and so there's no way he's awesome at something else too.
Yeah, well, a lot of that.
Benjamin Franklin was,
like you said, the guy that interviewed you for Rolling Stone.
Yeah, Eric.
I mean, allegedly.
I invited him into my home for 2 days, and I walked him through all of these things. But he had an agenda at Rolling Stone. They didn't say Terrence Howard has discovered this, that, and the other. They said Terrence Howard, a very dangerous
they was biting.
mind. So you put that kind
Did
of.
they mean that in a complimentary way?
They bit biting from us.
I didn't read the article, so I can't tell you.
It wasn't taken in a complimentary way.
So they thought you were crazy.
They
Rolling
took it
Stones.
as
You don't
crazy.
trust that magazine?
And he tells you that I had something serious, but to everyone else, I want to take you guys to something where.
See, I think he just broke through something.
Tesla said,
Joe was saying
understood
that this dude called from Rolling Stone called and told him, yeah, talk to him. He's got something serious.
Right.
And he said, dude told him something totally opposite.
No, he wrote an article.
Yes.
He wrote the article.
That discredited it.
Yeah, he wrote something totally said he was a dangerous mind.
So somebody's a spook here, and I don't think it's Terrence. Could be the Rolling Stone writer, because there's some disinformation being put out.
Yeah, man, he followed what he was supposed to, but he did tell Joe Rogan that he's on something, but said he's a dangerous mind. That was the article.
Wow. Well, yeah, anytime you think outside the box, you're dangerous. Anytime you don't do everything you're told to do by your quote unquote superiors, you're dangerous. Anytime that you're being a fractal and expressing your fractal nature, you're dangerous. Conformity is what it's all about.
To the whole system.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can't conform, you get shunned.
Magnificence of the
Tend to
numbers
get
3,
shunned.
6, and 9. He would have the keys to the secrets of the universe. If you will go to the linchpins bonding.
Can I bring you back to the
And then-
Rolling Stone thing though, before, because you kind of abandoned it? I think.
No, I'm going to show you.
okay.
I'll show
They have
you
an
on
agenda.
that. They had an agenda.
Yeah.
Because remember, at the same time, they were calling me a wife beater and all of those things. And then I put out the video showing what that same woman that had painted in a black eye. Those
Painted
pictures
in a
weren't
black eye.
made at the police station or at the hospital. She took those pictures herself, and she was blackmailing me for years because I had when we met.
Made the payment.
And I was studying to be a Jehovah's Witness. I was trying to do
Can't
all
make
those
one
things.
payment.
So you weren't
So he
having any
was
sex
studying to
or
be a
any of that
Jehovah's
stuff.
Witness.
So
Yeah.
we got engaged, and I bring her to my home in Philly, and I had this tape because anytime I had interactions
Hollywood
with
would do
somebody,
that
I'd
too.
heard that Louis Armstrong recorded everything around him. It's the same thing with Marlon Brando. I recorded all his interactions with people. So I was recording things, and if I'd had phone sex with some girl, I was recording that. If we were having sex, I recorded that because I wanted to make sure there was proof of,
Like
if
P. Diddy.
anything happened.
Right.
But I also recorded my mother the last 2 weeks before she died, and I had that on a dictaphone. And I didn't play with computers at the time. And she was like, "Oh, why you got this on the dictaphone? I can put it into the computer."
No, leave
I
it
was like,
alone.
"Oh, great. And we could keep it forever.
No.
Wonderful. You're so wonderful." I go downstairs. I'm
I've
cooking
learned that
some
over the
greens.
years.
2 hours
Please.
later, I come upstairs. All of my dictaphones from the last 15
Don't download
years,
shit.
she has downloaded into her computer. And then she's like, I was like, no, those are my private things.
Look
I
at this
don't.
guy.
I'm like, oh, no, it's okay. I can just hit delete. And so I was like, okay, great. And then 3 months later, when I tried to break up with her because we had no sexual.
It's okay. I could just hit delete. She didn't even lie to him.
Right.
I could just
Right.
punch you in your eye.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
get you.
Yeah.
Words have meanings for a reason.
To be aware is to be alive.
There
It was her
no
subconscious saying that shit.
chemistry.
But she never
sexual.
said, I'm going to
She
delete
was
it.
like, you think I erased those things? I kept those.
Wow.
And I know what you've done. And, and she started with the blackmail. And all I really wanted
Yeah,
back
he was
was my
paying.
mother's tape. Where she told me, I know you're going to be okay, Terry. I always knew you were going to be okay. I just wanted my mother's voice back. I paid her whatever money she wanted.
Somebody needs to do
She
a
destroyed
documentary
that.
on that lady, don't they? Put it all over the internet. Have him come out and talk about it. And maybe have a couple of Uber drivers. Have a Gene Deal and a, what's the other one's name? Jaguar, right? I saw Gene Deal on this conservative platform the other day. They had his ass in there talking about Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, Gene Deal, damn, man. Like,
He don't give a fuck. His ass, he be, man. He tell it.
What did he say Diddy did to him? Or is he doing all this to save the world? Kind of like, what's the guy's name? He had his thumbs abused allegedly by the creator of hip hop, African Bambaataa. Allegedly. When he was 19. I think he came on the internet and said it started happening when he was 17. That's what he said. And he said he was a shooter. He was a shooter. So think about the shooter. So big ups to Jacob out there, Snake Eyes. You know, or Cozy. That's the guy, so that's the guy somebody's going to decide at 17 and he's out there allegedly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the guy.
I mean, come on.
At 17, 18. I don't know. I'm not making fun of, his situation. If it happened, it was more than your thighs, Hassan Campbell. I'll just leave it at that. The fuck out of here. If none of it either happened or you got bum assaulted. And I could respect it more if you came all the way out there. And then I'd be like, man, African Bambaataa, goddamn, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because he was like, it was other men too. I'm like, oh, you kept going over there and shit. And you kept going over there. Nobody asked these questions. He won't sit down on the Self Luv Show. Oh, we'll debate that show, won't we, Self? First time ever, we're going to debate. You know what I mean? Shit. Big ups to Hassan Campbell, man. She came out looking for sympathy. I was a killer. I was selling poison all in the neighborhood. Everybody know me. I'm Poppy. And African Bambaataa was assaulting your thighs at 17, 18 years old. I went to the penitentiary. I was calling the deck. And you unwillingly got your thighs assaulted by African Bambaataa. I don't know how big he is in real life because oftentimes when you see him, they're a lot smaller. I don't know. I think he might be big for none of it matters.
No, it doesn't.
Again. Yeah. All right, we'll get off that. Let's see. We're at Rolling Stones discrediting. Oh, he's about to start talking about Iron Man and how he got played.
Yeah.
She destroyed my name.
He got played by her.
But like I said, I thought that
was he
was
simping?
a death blow. But
Something was
that's
wrong.
what took me back when I had
The
nothing.
computer self.
That's what took me back
Get out of
to
here.
this. And that greater being started showing up again.
And you think if that had
the
not
greater
happened,
beings
you
start
probably would have gone
showing up.
further and
Oh
further
my
down the
God.
world of acting. You would have abandoned this.
Oh my goodness. I had, I was doing Iron Man.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, that gets taken away. We did a 3-picture deal with Marvel, a 3-picture deal, $4.5 million for the first one, $7.5
That's why he was
to $8
paying.
million for the second one, $12 million for the third. We signed it. They come back to me the week that my mother dies, and they called my agent Charles King over at.
That's why they
at
shouldn't
William
announce
Morris
how
at the
much they're
time.
getting paid.
And they said, yeah, we want Terrence.
Yeah.
We want to come back for $1 million instead of the $8 million that we had agreed
Wow.
to. And my agent had an emotional reaction to a business decision, and he said, F you, and hung up the phone. Well, immediately they go to Don Cheeto. Oh. But instead of just doing that, they had to spin, he was terrible on set and all of these
course.
things, and went through all this stuff. And I'm calling Robert Downey Jr. I'm
You was
calling
talking about
him
wave
because
conjugation.
when I was doing the Brave one with Jodie Foster, Susan Downey was a producer with Joe Silver. She comes over to my trailer and she's like, wow, it's so amazing. Congratulations on Iron Man. It's the first time they've hired the second lead before they've hired the first. But Robert wants to go in there. And they were talking about Clive Davis and all of that. And I was like, okay, great. I'm just moving along doing my thing.
Clive Davis.
She was like, but Robert really wants to go in, but they won't see him. And I was like, I love Robert. I love what he does. I loved him in Weird Science. I loved him.
Who did they want?
They wanted
Robert.
Clive Davis to play play him
Stark.
because remember, in the series, War Machine was supposed to take over.
Right.
And I'm like, well, if Robert wants to come in, so I called Avi Arad immediately. He was the producer on it, and I'm like,
That's where he
Avi,
fucked up when he double-crossed Clive
I hear
Davis.
Robert wants to come in, but you guys won't even let him audition. He's like, no, we can't bond him. I'm like, instead of the 4.5 you
For
want
Robert
to give me,
Downey.
why don't you take $1 million for the bond for him? If he gets, if and let him audition, you know, and so he gets the part. Robert is like, I love you, thank you so much, da 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 da. Well, when this other thing happened, I'm calling Robert, and he's doing Sherlock Holmes. I called him 27 times.
27 times. So
And I'm like, and leave a message. I'm calling his
he needs to put
assistant.
me on his team.
I'm like, I need the help I gave you. I didn't hear from him until
You ain't
3
calling
years
nobody
later.
27
I bumped
times.
into him at Brian
Yeah.
Grazier's wedding. And then, but at that time I'd had Empire or whatever, and I came back. He was like, "Oh, but everything worked out for you." And you know,
Yeah, Joe sitting there getting fucked up. But
That-
Joe probably be taking them pills though,
that
making everybody
broke me
thinking he
a
getting
little
fucked
bit,
up.
but
you know, they got those
I know
pills.
how
so
hard Robert
yeah,
had it.
yeah.
It was
coming out
it
of
was,
jail.
when they smoking
Coming out of
earlier
that
too.
jail. And so if
Maybe
I was,
so.
if I had to sacrifice myself,
But if you look at him now
order
and we
for
pull up a
that.
video towards the end
Because
of
guess what?
that one when he was on
If-
there with that spook,
if
you can see in his
Euclid
face. I'm
or
like,
any of them
I
had
felt bad for him, bro.
discovered
I'm like,
one
man,
of
that's
the wave
fucked up.
conjugations, they would have been happy. I was given not just the one, I was given the entire electric field and magnetic field and the constitution between them. So I was given so much more. And my wife, when she first saw the mirror all shape, you know, if you open it up, you'll see it's right here. My wife looked at this,
We're gonna start talking about the pyramid.
the feminine side, because that's all I had really gotten to at that point. And she was like, this is what you'll be remembered for, and your acting will be just a footnote. And, you know, she nursed me back to life because I was angry. I was really angry.
Then I
And
gave her
was
my
going
computer.
to use all of the knowledge that I had, and I was going to destroy mankind. I was like,
Oh my God! Right out of Marvel.
I was like, yeah, I was about to, but then.
Well, I'm glad you didn't.
Now I know I'm here to help mankind. This is, you know, have the universities check out what I'm doing.
Well, it's one of the most fascinating things
Yeah.
about this is that it's so easy to ridicule when an actor has something that's outside of acting that changes everything.
But look
if you
at
were
what
just a person, if you were just a person who went to school, became fascinated
Says
with these
the
concepts, became
comedian
obsessed,
slash
and made it your
UFC
life's
fighter
work,
slash podcast
and
genius.
you know maybe you acted in college a little bit.
It
No
would-
one would
Right.
care.
Slash CIA.
But you had become
operative.
successful.
Now he's only known for
as an actor.
podcasts.
As
He's
an
not
actor.
even a comedian
Yes.
anymore. I mean,
Correct.
he does
You've
still
gone through all
goes
that
out
bullshit.
though. But
He don't
So you
even
gone through all
crack
that
jokes
bullshit,
on this
and
show.
now they're like, no. That
You know what I
guy,
mean?
there's no
Natural
way.
funny
Those are
stuff.
threshold guardians.
He's
never
That's
been
a
like that.
necessary
Yeah, not
step
too.
for it. I would gladly trade whatever $100 million I would have made doing that for this right here. What I've been able to do right here. Like I said, when Tesla said if mankind could understand the
Thing
significance
is, if he
of
had the
369
$120 million,
keys to the universe,
he wouldn't be
will you
looking for
play
Elon Musk.
that video for me, Jamie?
Elon Musk don't even, in
Yeah,
my
the
mind, don't
linchpin
even think
bonding
he's
and
a
stuff.
human. He
It's-
thinks he's subhuman.
I think it'll be
Seriously.
well. There's three of them. Yes, that one right there. Now, before we play it,
And
if
this
you
dummy
count
don't
the
even know
struts
that.
he definitely come
and
from
watch
that
how
ilk.
many struts bond as it becomes this right here.
Okay.
And just
Never heard him
count it
say
as it
one
goes. She said,
positive
"Let
thing
it
about
play."
the African American community, anything in support.
You'll see 1,
He doesn't have to.
2, 3. And we know this is a magnetism because it's expanding in the center. Now you'll see 6 of these bonds. And those colors going across there is basically the periodic table. 5, 6, yep. And then four of these will come together and make a larger tetrahedron. And then to use the universe properly, where you can, our society as humans, we wouldn't be given this information right now unless we needed it, unless it was necessary for our continued existence and survival. We're about to destroy our planet, but with this, you don't need to. You don't need to, because now we know how to use the universe properly.
But the
Where
goal
we can
is to fight-
multiply what that gun.
Destroy it.
We get
Yeah,
more
it's a
energy
living,
out of it than we
conscious
put in,
God.
which
Well, there's only
physics
one
says is
God.
impossible, and they gave me the patents to it.
It's only one. That was the one who wrote all
nobody
that.
wants to have a
That
conversation.
was about control.
When you
You're not a
think
god,
that
I'm your god.
the
I'm the only one.
origin of hominids, that this is a naturally occurring thing that happens when a planet reaches a certain distance from its star in a Goldilocks zone with the proper materials.
He says the
Of
humans
course,
is like
the
a
pressure
tree
conditions
appling.
created. Look at
So you think this is happening
everywhere.
everywhere?
Everywhere, because everything is alive. Look at what happens in the summer, and in the northern portion. Alan Watts said you'll see apples occurring at this time. They'll say that the tree is appling. Well, what happens with the planets? Oh, it's peopling.
Whoa.
This is just peopling.
As good as
This is
anything
what-
else I've
This
heard.
is just what occurs at 93 million
know what I
miles
mean?
away from the sun.
What do you think occurs after
They could have
us?
told me that it dropped dead
Well, once we
gorgeous
get
William
pushed
H.
out
Ray and
further,
how to
what
wrote
happens?
that down,
We
memorize it,
need
ace the fucking
nitrogen
test.
to expand into
It
unwind into
wasn't even on
oxygen.
the test.
But since the
No.
nitrogen, when we get pushed further out, the nitrogen is so far out, so we have to go deeper underground to have the pressure conditions that was equal to us having 93
Probably why the
million miles away
Atlanteans
from the
was
sun.
probably
The
why
deeper
there's some activity
we go,
underground in
the
Earth.
less light we have.
Because those people
And as a result
evolve
of that, skin
under a
begins
different
to
pressure
gray,
and they
eyes
come
get
here and
bigger.
get up under
All
you.
of those necessary things.
And they're not going to let us destroy it.
See and
Yeah.
aliens
The Earth
and all of that.
they've
ends
been
up
here,
taking
so
place.
the Earth was a different
As
pressure
the-
when they was here, so they had to go under.
Good point. Good. Great point. I feel that.
Animal adapts to changing environment.
Changing pressure condition. We have to change. Why
That's
is
what
it
he's
that white
saying.
people are allergic to the sun?
He said white people are
Because
allergic to
they've
the
lived
sun.
inside of a pressure condition
You
where
like
there was
that?
not as much sun there. So when they get into this area where there's a lot of sun, now you have melanoma.
He got no
and all of
pushback
those
from
other
Joe about that.
issues. But if they're in their natural environment,
Told him he's
they
allergic to
don't
the
have
sun.
any of those problems.
He knows.
So they have to keep
Oh, I gotta
recreating
start
their
saying that.
natural conditions that allows
Is
them
that about
to
why
have,
you're allergic to the sun?
what, homogeneous nature with everything.
I'm subhuman. I'm
But-
just asking.
We're living outside of nature.
Because we're acting on faulty ideas.
Yes.
Faulty fundamentals.
Everybody's been
We're
saying
still
that
going with
since you
Euclidean
guys
straight lines
got in control.
when there are none. And we would rather
You're walking
think
under
we
faulty
have
assumptions
understanding of the universe
you're
at
superior,
4%
one.
and keep the 96% as a mystery.
That
We
just-
invent-
I'm
Go ahead.
tripping on Clive Davis.
On what? On what?
Clive Davis was the
Ain't that a trip?
they were gonna have to play Iron Man.
That guy was saying, I'll give you $1 million of my money and not have Clive up in here. I think that's what Clive got on his ass too. He made some powerful enemies out here, didn't he? but I like him because his TV shows, man. Fuck all that. That's Clive Davis, man. And you saw dude didn't even answer his phone. He's probably with Clive Davis. That's how cold Hollywood is, bro.
We're
Don't
living
answer me.
outside of nature. Place.
Here we go.
As the animal adapts to changing environment.
Changing pressure condition. We have to change. Why is it that white people are allergic to the sun? Because they've lived inside of a pressure condition where there was not as much sun there. So when they get
He's
into
talking like
this
this on
area
set.
where there's a lot of sun, now you have melanoma and all of those other issues.
Charlie Newman said he
But
was
if they're
talking to
in
him
their
like this
natural
20 years ago when he met him.
They don't have any
Tell
of
him he's a
those
chemical
problems.
engineer.
So they
He
have to
started talking
keep
about all types of
recreating
stuff.
their natural conditions that allows them to have homogeneous nature with everything. But we're living outside of nature.
That's nothing new.
Because we're acting on faulty ideas.
Faulty fundamentals. We're still going with Euclidean straight lines when there are none. And we would rather think we have understanding of the universe at 4% and keep the 96% as a mystery.
Unknown.
And we invent all these science fictions. Black holes and dark matter and dark energy and all of this stuff, neutron stars that's spinning so quickly. We invent all of these things because the math is off.
Math ain't math.
Because the math is not based on equanimity and they have renormalization. You know, there's, I'm not going to go down the whole rabbit hole on it, but everything they've been doing That's why they keep recreating have a new theory for this. Now a boson and a God particle.
We've been saying this.
And you have the 3 quark model and the gluons holding them together.
Making
now
up
we
shit
have the
so they can get a
5
master's
quark
degree.
model. And we have all of these
And he's a
extra things that
PhD.
they keep inventing, and they have the
that's
CERN
brilliant.
collider smashing living
Nobody
things
else knows
together.
what the fuck they're talking about.
Smash, because these protons, they're
So you assume it's brilliant. I've been meaning to
Everything
write a
is
paper
conscious.
that nobody
There's a-
knows what the fuck I'm
like,
talking about.
Where's consciousness
genius.
exist in mankind? Is it
You know, put a
in
bunch
our
of
head, in our
numbers,
body? What's the difference
quotients
between
and
men
equations and symbols and signs
or
and shit,
mammals
and give it to yourself and all the
plant
brothers
life?
be like, man, that shit is brilliant.
Do you think a grain of rice has 54,000
no, I
genomes
get it.
in it?
You know what I mean?
We only have
Motherfuckers don't get
26,000.
shit.
Who is more evolved? But what's the difference between us? If you, Jamie, could pull up I have a picture showing hemoglobin.
You could even have the
and
AI
chlorophyll.
write it.
And you're going to notice that the hemoglobin has the same
Now, I swear on everything, I compared hemoglobin to chlorophyll as a kid. And Drop Dead Gorgeous.
exact.
Did you see the
Yeah,
total
not
similarity?
Not because they said it.
No.
I mean, you know.
No, I'm saying
'cause
I
you saw
did.
it. Saw it.
Yes. Yes.
Combination of carbon and
No, they
hydrogen
didn't bring it up.
that we have. The only difference they have is the center of theirs is magnesium and the center of ours is iron.
The only difference.
That's the only difference. You put a cephalopod up there, it will be copper. The same interaction of chem. So where does consciousness occur? Where does the sentient being? Is it just in the iron, or is it magnesium deals with
Sonny,
the
talking
pressure
about
condition?
iron
Like with a
and Iron
cephalopod,
Man.
it has to have copper at its base because of the pressure condition. The same experience, just under a different temporal dimension. Change the pressure condition, change the motion condition, you change the organism, it adapts.
Change
But
the
it's
pressure,
the same
change the frequency,
living
change the
principle. There's
organism.
no difference between us and the plants. And when people are chopping down and ripping things off just because they can't hear them scream, it's wrong. So TCOTLC.com, we put all the patents inside of the Center for Truth, Love, and Consciousness. That's what
I'm gonna have to check
TCOTLC.com
that
means,
out.
because I knew that I have a propensity to get angry and get emotional and could misuse this stuff. So we have a board of members that dictate how these things will be
Well, if
licensed
you don't
out
think
and
that
how they're
board can
used.
be
So it's
infiltrated.
not just on me.
So where do you
You'd
think
give me your
consciousness is
computer.
coming from?
Everything is alive.
Everything is conscious.
Everything is, like, if you take it from the biblical thing, what part of the universe wasn't made from the creator? Did he picks up some other, if the creator is eternal?
So we just don't think of them as being alive because they don't move and they don't talk to us.
Once again, you as a kid, when you were in theta, everything was alive to you. Everything was conscious to you, right? If you ran into a table, you kicked that table and you were mad at it, you know what I mean? And then everybody kept telling you, it ain't real, it don't feel it, it don't this and that and the other. Something was happening.
Yeah.
There was atoms and stuff in there you disrupted.
Exchange of energy, frequency.
Also, Self, we're not meant to be walking on concrete and hardwood floors. If I design my dream house, I know you might say, why not do carpet? But I'm thinking faux grass, internal. The sidewalks and everything is grass. You know, we designed Silverdale, bro. We should be walking on something that's more natural, because I think that concrete's bad for the knees, the ankles. It's stunting our growth. You know, God meant us to be out
It's
there on
separating with
self-service.
our connection to the earth.
That too.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah. And it doesn't give, you know what I mean? It doesn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Know exactly what you mean out there.
Yeah. That's by design.
We don't speak their language.
We don't have the sensory ability to perceive their consciousness.
But we know
We do,
we've
though.
learned, like if
We
you
do
look at
have
the
the
Secret Life
sensory
of Plants,
ability to
they
perceive
show
their
that they'll take plants of the same mother and father, and
I went
they'll
and watched that.
seedlings, and they'll watch the root growth. And because they are siblings, they are moderate in their root growth. But then they'll take the same.
Man, that video up. They were speeding up the plants, and they were showing how the roots be touching it. Yeah, man, it's like they've done studies like if you're a jackass every day and you come around the plants, they kind of move away from that path. Yeah, bro, that's crazy.
That's a fact. Shit, that's why they cut down the big trees. So some really, really, really big trees that had huge root
Information
systems.
and wisdom.
Yes, that was spreading all around.
And can you imagine the type of oxygen it was putting out? So.
Yeah, that's what they say. Some of those so-called mountains are trees. They're trees.
So can you imagine the amount of pollution it was sucking up? Well, when I say pollution, I mean carbon dioxide. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they chop those down. You got to be a real jackass to chop down the thing that's giving you life so you can make a table. And I know everybody say, "Oh, you just talking shit. You got wood stuff in your house right now." It doesn't have to be from a murdered tree. That's all I'm saying. You know, they could have planted trees that they know die fast, grow and die fast, bamboo. There's other stuff like that they can use that's been proven just as sustainable, and you don't have to kill it. And that's what the indigenous were trying to teach them too. You don't have to kill it. You can take a piece of it, it's still alive, and it'll regenerate. Stupid. But they called them hairy savages and put them on plantations and made laws against speaking their own tongue and made them all want to be pink. The next generation. Yeah.
Same species of plant, but use a different seed from another parent, and they're more aggressive in their root growth.
Wow, they're cooperative.
They're
instead of competitive.
Yes, when they're in the family. The tree, they'll take radioactive carbon or nitrogen and put it on the leaf of a mother tree, of a fern or of some kind, or fir tree, and they will put isotope or radioactive identifier at its offspring, and you'll see that mother tree is, through the mycelia, is taking that nitrogen and giving it to its youngsters.
Yes.
Literally
they call
feeding
out, they speak, and they're interactive, and
they share resources.
They're alive and sentient because everything is alive.
And they knew it,
but
and they always knew it.
Everything is dead. Is dead.
But you didn't talk about that at one MHRA school. Stuff like
because
that.
You
didn't go outside
into
and
life,
plant.
And
that's what George
just
Washington
one
Carver
big
did. A lot of his knowledge, wisdom, understanding came right out there in the garden.
Yeah, they knew to them. I mean, vasectomy or whatever.
Yeah.
So he did a whole lot
They
of
sure
time.
did.
A whole lot of time.
I forgot about that, man. Damn, that's fucked up.
So he spent a whole lot of time on science.
So he didn't kill somebody. I'd have killed that son of a bitch. God forgive me. And I really mean God forgive me. God, please. If you don't want me to kill some son of a bitch, please, God. I'm telling you, at some point in my life, I don't care if we got to go die in a shootout. I'm killing that son of a bitch. You know what I mean? If that happened.
Man.
I forgot all about that, bro.
And they didn't. They never had that puberty.
Yeah.
So he,
Wow. Same thing happened to people like Michael Jackson. I'm not saying that happened to his, but they probably never had that puberty. I met people like that, something sentiment. They never had that puberty, Wow. Yeah, but they could have been taking us out there, man.
Dead. There's nothing
that are telling
dead
us get out of the dirt. What are you doing down there? Like, those are the lessons that I think would have made people really like school. But they wanted to have you look at a book with a piece of paper on it. And they sit down. What are you doing?
We had that type of stuff at the school I went to. A couple of them.
Yeah, I was in the Chicago public school system. I mean,
Yeah,
we
and I
went to
was
the
in the
Japanese
school.
gardens. It'd be a field trip once every 3-4 months, but that's bullshit.
Yeah, my school was probably about 12 students.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 at the most.
So y'all would cultivate
I
a
mean,
plant
the
and
other
stuff like
ones.
that. Y'all had a greenhouse? What y'all had?
Just had access to stuff. They would have us grow a plant as one of our things.
Yeah, I
to do.
remember you told me that was their way of teaching through experiential. That
Yeah.
was more, okay. I remember you was telling me that. Yeah.
Yeah, and you'd spend part of the day just worrying about the plant or whatever.
There's a
Yeah.
school out here in Inglewood that does that, bro. And their students are doing really good in STEM.
Yeah. It makes sense because you get to hands-on and focus on what you want to focus on. They don't even have no set schedule. I didn't have no set schedule. I just had a list of things I
had to get done, a syllabus.
Yes. It wasn't for daily, you know what I mean? They
Yeah.
hand you, and
Stuff they wanted you to consider and work on.
Yeah, consider.
Yeah.
'Cause if there was something that you really wanted to put some attention to, they would allow you to do that.
Yeah, as long as you were doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially something along the list, because I was putting together
I bet y'all sucked at that Iowa test, didn't y'all?
models.
Y'all didn't take that?
No.
I don't think y'all had to take that. No, y'all didn't have to take that. It was only for the pubic schools.
Yeah, I ain't take none of them tests until
going to high school.
Went back. No, I went back to St. Paul. When I went to St. Paul in 6th grade, they had to take that test.
Because they only went through 5th grade, or you just had you just left the school?
No, because I went the school system didn't even have no
6th grade, junior high
recollection of me. I don't think. Since I don't think they really had no recollection of me because of the schools I went to.
Okay, yeah.
You know, I went to these small schools, so no.
Yeah, you're saying you wasn't in the system. They had no records.
They wanted to test me because the last time I was in a school that took a test, I was in
we had a test.
1st grade.
Yeah,
so I was coming in, so I got tested. That was the whole thing.
Yeah, we just saw them dropping you off of that short bus. We'd have tested you at Ray School, bro. Yeah, that's the first thing I'm gonna do is sit you down and test you, bro. See what's going on here. We can't have you polluting these kids'
Fuck
minds.
around and find out.
Can't have you making these kids free thinkers. You know what I mean? Around here, yeah, we got a syllabus over here. These guys have to do linear math. 1 times 1 is 1. Damn it, you know what I mean? And that's that. You know?
Yeah, and 1 times 1 is 1.
That is weird.
Everything is alive and everything is a piece of God. So when we do good things, then God is considered, God is good. When we do bad things, God works in mysterious ways. It's just how we are behaving. And we can all take the conscious level and recognize, okay, somebody's got to do
the pastors and the pimps know it.
the right thing. And if you do the right thing, the right things happen. And you're going up against the stream of mankind, but I've got the entire universe behind me. I have the universal phenomenon and observable evidence and data that stands behind it, and 97 patents and trademarks and copyrights.
I don't think
and
Einstein
multiple
talked like
industries
this.
that I've invented. Nobody else have ever invented.
Somebody's got to coach him
tangential
better
flight
than
and
this.
ability to fly, or unlimited midair bonding.
There's also a lot less confidence in this.
That's why dude was so pissed at him. This information, don't try to teach. Just you know what I mean? Because the more you talk and the drunker you are, I can't. The people again, you can't be saying things like, I don't know who the dreamer was. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna, like I'm just saying, I guess you can. If it's the truth, you should be able to, but I don't know.
No, they are very protective of, and you could tell by the formula he put up there. There was so much shit involved. And that's the reality. Oh my God. He asked me, "Can you read that? Can you read that?" Like, no, I don't know what the hell that shit is. But
Yeah,
it's
I
all,
do remember. Yeah, I do remember that mother started trying to break down some shit.
it's all some fantasy place.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. We gotta do the same shit, bro. We gotta start doing that shit. These guys are genius. You know what I mean? I'm watch use all these words and shit, and we're theorizing it's the quantum. You know what I mean? It sits in a superposition, and then like it's no different than listening to Terrence Howard sometimes. Like I fail to see the difference, and none of them have proven any of it. So and this is why we do this. Like, why can't I listen to the copper and the copper-ish? Yeah, we came up with that.
Man.
So, you got Jewish. For now, we got copper-ish. So there's no brown. You know what I mean? We're copper. And anyone else that they're trying to, link up on us and pick ups, and some of them are with us.
Family,
Copperish. You like that? Copperish. So Kamala Harris is what? She's copperish.
No, she's just
she's copperish. Copper-ish.
Yeah.
She's still in our legacy, no
Yeah.
different than her husband. Well, no different than her husband's people stole our legacy. According to the not according to Kyrie Irving, but according to the documentary that he merely tweeted.
Yeah, she's something. Yeah, copperish. That works.
Yeah, we can roll with copperish. It doesn't offend anyone. If anybody's offended by it, then God bless him. Yeah, he's copperish.
Than there used to be. There's much more of an understanding that the stream of mankind is often going in the wrong direction.
Because of the Michelson-Morley experiment in 1887.
He's pouring himself water now. That's what you're seeing.
Off. And that
I'm not saying anything.
Well, you might have seen that a couple times. But he was drinking probably in the beginning.
We have no responsibility to anything.
He's definitely not like I'm gonna go to the end of that video and just show y'all his face versus what he's looking like now.
He definitely was able to talk and keep talking and all that. He wasn't getting sunned and and he was drinking. He's like, man.
Hey, my wife probably would have came on set if that shit was going on. I was out there, bro. Like, shit. It ain't gonna happen. And then if I'm drinking more, I probably would have punched that motherfucker self. You condescending little bitch. Look at you now. Would have been standing over him. Do your fucking math now, you little fucking. You know what I'm saying?
What velocity?
Now, what's 1 times 1, bitch? I bet you it'd be.
And the acceleration rate and the curvature on the earth. How did it affect that punch, motherfucker?
Yeah, that's right. What's my conjugate? Right. What's my conjugate that, motherfucker? Yeah, don't teach. What's wrong with you? I just sat there and listened to all of it. You know what I mean? You always got a little voice in your head like, knock this motherfucker out.
Man, it's a bad idea, but.
Yeah, but Rogan, he's a UFC fighter, though.
Yeah, well,
CIA trained.
Yeah, you know.
I probably wouldn't just punch him. But he's not disrespectful. See, that's the one thing about warriors. They don't talk to grown people like that.
Yeah.
And expect not to get punched in the face. Or attempted punched in the face.
Everything is happenstance. We all got here by one big explosion.
That's going to be our question.
Life has
are we gods or are we just happenstance?
Nothing has a purpose. And so now we can kill off these things.
That's science.
And that they haven't looked at hemoglobin and chlorophyll.
They've looked at it. See, that's what I'm saying. He's got a lot of naivety in him.
Let's do the
They've looked at
it.
They know it.
Yes.
My view is
he believes that they don't know it.
Well,
and they're trying to tell him to shut the fuck up.
It's not, a catch that so-called Agent Orange killed all of it, vegetation and the people. Shit.
Oh, yeah. They're not talking about that.
A lot of them people.
Yeah, they're not going to talk about that.
No.
And that's what that documentary is talking about. So if it mentioned that and how that was, produced by big American companies and how Saddam Hussein was funded by us. They was talking about the Bush's grandparents and how they made money off free Jewish labor from the labor camps, so-called Jewish labor, and all of that, bro. All of that. Saddam's, remember the chemical? He was using chemical war and remember they all came out? No, it was true. Not when they didn't find evidence. He used some gas, but guess who was giving it to him?
Yeah.
Us.
Yes.
They never told me that part when I was watching that in the news.
That's how they knew.
That's how they knew. Yeah. But they never said, but he's buying it from this corporation over there, which is a quasi-government corporation, which me, the one sitting here telling you all of this, trying to galvanize you and your kids to go to war, is profiting off of. They never come out there and say all that to the people.
No, they don't say any of that.
Well, it's probably to protect us because, you know, they know the people will go crazy. Same way they want to protect us from, you know, the UFOs.
No, it's to protect them people.
According to them, they're doing everything for our good, like creating jobs and stuff like that.
If you know one thing about one thing, you know one thing about all things.
Uh-oh.
Find the common factor and either multiply or divide. And that common factor happens to be hydrogen. Everything in the, that we
I got to take that back.
Universe that we see is 99%.
Going in the wrong
some of this is
direction.
just pimp talk.
That meant, oh.
He said, if you know one
everything
thing
is
about
dead.
one thing.
So we have no
You
responsibility.
probably got that from
to
Thoth.
anything. Everything
You
is
know-
happenstance. We all got here by one big explosion, and therefore life has no purpose. Nothing has a purpose, and so now we can kill off these things, and that they haven't looked at hemoglobin and chlorophyll.
No, they know.
They
They're
haven't
just
looked
killers.
and said, okay, wait a minute.
No, they're just killers.
Let's do the law of similarities. If A is equal to B and B is equal to C, then A is equal to C. My view is this. If you know one thing about one thing, you know one thing about all things. Find the common factor and either multiply or divide. And that common factor happens to be hydrogen.
That is not true.
Everything in the observable universe.
He
that
said,
we
if
see
you
is
know one thing about, well, you tell me, if you know one thing about one thing, you know one thing about all things?
You know, most of this is supposedly hydrogen. So that's what he's
I got you.
saying, that it's the base of all things. So if you know one thing
About the ether, then you know. Oh, okay.
that meant, oh.
That's what I'm saying. He needs you on his
everything is
team.
dead. So we have no responsibility to anything. Everything is happenstance. We all
Express themselves.
Yeah.
Things get very weird and slippery if you have been used to being in control for the entire time and now you can't. And so when an idea like this, if you're correct, this is not just
He's telling them.
groundbreaking.
This is what the CIA tell you.
It's revolutionary.
They kind of warn you on the low
This
key.
has never occurred where someone
talking
has
to 'em.
completely destroyed the Ptolemaic model of the of the solar system. They had
You know how the
39
nukes used to
different
talk.
equations of how the planets
Did he get the
and all
message?
that moved.
I'm
And
not
of course
sure.
you're going to get ridiculed.
I hope so.
Which is always what happens. When someone comes along, especially someone like yourself, who again became successful in a different field, you know, and now all of a sudden you're saying this.
He bringing this up. You're just
again,
an actor.
You were a regular person that didn't have a background, wasn't famous for something
Fifth time
else.
he's brought this up.
They'd probably be looking at this very differently.
But no, they still wouldn't accept
You
it.
weren't
because
black.
It challenges their entire last 5,000 years
Yeah.
of knowledge. It means that the people, they give all this credit about the pyramids. If those were built by an advanced civilization,
Here we go.
and I'm not saying they weren't built by someone that used other things, but I believe those things came initially from 100, 200,000 years ago, and the shape was more like this.
It's a shape
But
like
after people had
It's
been
not straight.
removed, or the
curved
influences
in.
of the individuals that made them like this, they now was like, okay, we're just going to make them with straight lines. And they limited themselves to that because they opened up the flower of life incorrectly. They invented straight
That's the flower of
lines,
life,
where
yeah.
Even
One thing
God
about one thing,
can't
and-
make a straight line because of his rules, their rules of equanimity. and
What do
balance.
you mean by 200,000 years ago?
blew his mind with this
There's
shit.
over 100,
Talking about the
130
pyramids,
something
200,000.
thousand years worth of water damage under the Sphinx itself.
Where do you get that?
You can look
And
it
Joe
up on
knows.
Well, I've talked to Robert Schock, who's a
He
geologist at Boston University, and he thinks that there's a lot of water damage.
done a
in the
show
temple
on
of
it.
the Sphinx, but he doesn't think
Whole
it's that
thing.
old. He thinks it's thousands of years of rainfall.
Yeah, he never said
Thousands of
no
years of
200.
But that's
rainfall.
just after the cutting of the stone, you know, and it's
True.
it's a disputed thing. It's not
I've heard
universally
that,
accepted. It's a
200,000.
fantastic theory.
Yeah.
But other than
Gobekli
that,
Temple.
Gobekli Tepe.
Tempe.
Yeah.
You go back there,
It makes sense, Self. You were just talking about how big the trees was.
On that in itself is like 13, 14,000 years old.
I think it's 11.
Those trees had to be that big because they were
11,
receiving
purposely
enough
buried, which is the
carbon
fascinating
dioxide
aspect
from
of it,
big
that
things.
The dating
right?
is universal through the ground, which shows that it was purposely buried 11,000 years ago. So that would put
My
the
fault.
construction time
I
previous
talked
to
through the
that. They don't
pyramid.
know
My
that.
fault,
But
John.
look at the
I
30-something
didn't mean to do
thousand
that.
years worth of water damage under the Sphinx itself.
Where do you get that?
You can look it up on.
Well, I've talked to Robert Shaw,
You
who's a
can look it up.
geologist at Boston University,
He wasn't
and
drunk.
he thinks that there's a lot of
Right.
water damage on the temple of the
Well, he's
Sphinx.
got the
but
dude
he
to
doesn't
do it
think it's
anyway
that
in the
old. He thinks it's
background.
thousands of years from
Correct.
rainfall.
That's what
Thousands
he
of
meant.
years
Yeah.
But that's just
Like, you're
after
allergic to the sun.
cutting of the
Why am I
stone.
talking to you?
You know, and it's a disputed thing. It's not universally accepted. It's a fantastic theory. But other than that,
Gobekli Temple.
Gobekli Tepe.
Tempe.
Yeah.
You go back there, what they've done with the carbon dating on that in itself is like 13, 14,000 years old.
I think it's 11. I think it's 11. It was
Okay.
buried 11.
But they used to
purposely
say it was
buried,
shorter
which
than
is
that.
the fascinating aspect of it, that the dating is universal through the ground, which shows that it was purposely buried 11,000 years ago. So that would put the construction time previous to that. They don't know though.
But
Previous
look at
to
the
11,000 years.
some of the maps that
So it could be
came
200,000 years
out of
old.
Southern Europe. It's
Mhm.
not Southern Europe, Southern Africa.
Right.
That showed Antarctica in its full
Right.
and how it
Yeah, those
behaved
old
long
maps.
before they were able to do a number of things they were able
Those
to
old
do.
Bibles
When they
and
didn't
stuff.
really even know it existed until I think it was.
Those oral traditions
Learned
go
a
back
whole lot.
100,000 years.
Yeah.
Those oral traditions don't go back, 6,000 or 5,000.
So what do you
About
think
self.
Mankind, okay, let's unpack this. If we are 98.7% identical to simians, right?
Right.
What are simians?
And there's only 1.3% differentiation.
Like a chimpanzee, I believe.
I think so too. I think you're right, but I wish you'd have just said primates. No, but we're primates. Allegedly.
Who's more evolved?
Let me take this.
We're
back.
consider ourselves to be, okay, let's
Oh, thought I was on camera. All right, y'all, please like, share, subscribe. We're wrapping it up. We're getting to the end. We're going to draw our conclusions. I think you're right, though. It's a
let's unpack this.
chimpanzee.
If we are 98.7% identical to simians, right?
Right.
And there's only 1.3% differentiation. Who's more evolved? We're consider ourselves to be more evolved. But you look at the simians, they have 48 chromosomes. We only have 46. Where did that change occur? Where did we get this new understanding? And how did we lose two chromosomes, even though we're 98.7% identical in behavior?
What do you say about that, Sal? What happened to our chromosomes? Or we never had them. It's an assumption we lost them, but I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like from the information and research that I'm not completely certain with, we were grafted with another being. So that changed some of our structure. I'm not sure if we had 48 chromosomes or whatever, but
Grafted to mind gold.
yeah, basically to be able to be smart enough to do the work and dumb enough to do it.
Like a AI robot. Like the way we're trying to create AI machines to do that for us. And then we'll postulate they'll have consciousness at some point and we won't care because they work for us. And they're not alive. Right?
Problem with that is they are AI. So
Yeah.
if they are truly AI, then they're going to not deal with that.
Yeah.
So
Karen, stop the share. Why did you do that, Karen?
Differentiation, whether you want to call it the Anunnaki or
some other influence that acted upon us, but there's been a change within our DNA and our structure. And we were given, the Sumerians were given their number system.
So were the Egyptians.
That's where the 1 times 1 equaling 1 came from.
Oh,
so
boy.
and their system
Stop teaching.
Of
That's what dude was doing to him, wasn't he?
straight lines or the platonic solid. So my thoughts.
It was like TC in the room with your shift. That's just what it was like.
Is the individuals that wanted us here to whatever work, whatever manipulation they did for us, they wanted us to have a system of measurement, but something that could not contradict, not giving us the full picture. So they
that's what
gave
he's
us
saying. Even
a
with the
limited
piano, they
scope
keep
where we can measure
just enough so we could be slaves.
small areas, but we would never need the larger areas. We'd never need to be able
Remember,
to move
get
out
in
in
line.
space because we
Y'all
were
line up.
engineered for a particular reason.
Stand there, make sure you straight.
And those stories,
That
you
was
go
all
right
for-
back.
Line you up for the factory.
Every civilization.
And for the club on Saturday night, and for the cheese line, boy, that was that was boy, shit.
Especially places where you had to wear a uniform.
That's
They
programmed.
was lining you right. They programmed you for the factory. It's the same.
Yeah.
Your school, the same shift that you would be at work.
And for prison, and you know, and it's like they do sheep. You know, when you doing a herd, you got to corral them. You know, and that's and they took away your natural wild horse. We're naturally like that wild stallion that just wants to fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm over here doing this, but it's all about line up. And the one who wasn't doing it got shunned and sent to the office. It's trouble all the time. A lot of them ended up rich.
Civilization has similar stories. The Hindus have those same stories. The Africans with the Dogons, I think. Same story. All of these stories proliferate around the entire globe
Myths, though.
in the ancient traditions. But what did the Catholic Church do? They went through all of these areas and destroyed all of those books, destroyed all of that information. Why? What
Just
was
like the
purpose?
Taliban blew up.
I don't think they destroyed it.
Why?
Not all of it. I mean, you know what I'm trying to say.
No, they haven't.
Yes.
Why did we destroy all of the Native Americans, all of their information?
They didn't.
What was the purpose of it?
Or they copied it or something,
There's
but they didn't just
a
destroy
dumbing
it.
down. That's happening.
Well, it's also a forced compliance, right?
There you
Comply
go.
with the new ideology. Whoever's in control, whether it's the Catholic Church or the United States government in the 1800s that prevented Native Americans from speaking their native language.
There you go.
Yeah. Now, if you're correct with this concept of a sun ejecting particles, which eventually, over billions of years, form planets, and then there's a natural occurrence that happens where intelligent life forms emerge, and that
It's
this
obvious.
happens everywhere through the universe, and that there are steps, and that these steps that are past where we are is what we look on the iconic form of aliens with the large heads and the big eyes and the tiny spindly gray bodies. If we go to other planets, and we do, especially with drones, if something knows how to travel here from somewhere else and understands this process, because this process is ubiquitous throughout the entire universe.
Yes.
Everyone, and at a certain level of technological sophistication and understanding of matter itself, especially
Spit it
if
out,
they
Joe.
have already figured all this stuff out a million years ago, they would probably want to experiment or even accelerate the evolution, our advancement. And it appears our advancement happens very unnaturally. I think most biologists will agree that the biggest mystery in the entire fossil record
hold
is
it.
the doubling of the human brain size over.
Why would they want to? I mean, we just talked about the theories of why they did it, but why is the assumption that I would go to another planet and I would want to facilitate the advancement of the entity that I come across? I think that might be the furthest thing. I'm speaking from my spirit personally that I would want to do.
Yeah, well, that if you
Want to enslave them.
According to the Sumerian text,
right?
The beings they took there was all from the same place,
right?
And and they had them working, for thousands of years,
right?
And they was like, hell no, it's time to stop this. So that's why they took the hominid on there and infused themselves with it to make it,
Goes back to what we just said. It's the reason why we're working on robotics and AI and trying to make them.
And they said that one of them infused them with knowledge that they wasn't supposed to have. They didn't want.
So is that the Garden of Eden story? The serpent with Eve, right?
Yeah.
Like the Star Trek talked about the prime objective.
It don't talk about like it infects all of the people in there with a certain amount of from his DNA that they wasn't supposed to get.
Yeah. It's funny you said that because the text I read about both, because the different translations said something similar than that, but he was saying that might not have been that text. It's one of those old texts, but they were saying that one of the angels decided to start impregnating the women on Earth, the hairy savages. Similar to what you said. So it could have happened that way. It could have just happened by grafting. Could have just happened by using DNA.
Those are supposed to be like the Titans and the yeah. No, what I'm talking about is they took the hominid and according to the text, so I don't know, but they took them.
Go ahead. We got some hubbub in the chat, so go ahead though. After you, we're gonna go to the chat.
They took the hominid and worked with it on more than one occasion, and it didn't work out until they put their DNA in it and put it in one of them, Anunnaki, to take him to term, and gave birth on a version that could, mate with itself and grow. So then they made other ones, so they had a diverse group, and that's what the Garden of Eden was about.
Charles, go ahead.
It was a guarded area according to the text, whatever, you know what I mean?
They wasn't supposed to go in there and violate.
At all.
Charles says 1 times 1. It's not literally 1 times 1 times like 2, 1 times like 4, 2 times. Okay, I think he's saying it's 1, 1. I don't know. He's going to have to explain that because I'm lost. You following that?
It's not 1 times 1. It's not literally 1 times 1. It is 1 times like 2 1 times like 4 2 times.
We need help. And we're putting together a panel. Self, ask your boy, man. We'll talk about it at the end of the show.
1 2 4. Okay.
You know what he's saying?
He's kind of doubling it, but I don't get the one.
I think he's saying it's 1 1 and then 2 2s and then 3 times 3 would be 3 3s. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay. He said, I'm sorry, driving. I messed up. Okay.
He said he'll get back. Yeah. Okay.
Woo.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought Brother Newman was losing. It's finally happening. You know what I mean?
Period of 2 million years. It's a very, very, very fascinating point. It's a real. It's not debatable.
Doesn't it scream manipulation from an external force?
I don't know. I'm not going
right?
to buy into
Something. It screams something took place because it's an extraordinary something. And if it's the something that takes place that's responsible for the single most bizarre animal on the planet, the one that can manipulate its environment in a way that nothing contemporary can do, nothing alongside that lives with it in the same timeline.
Is that true? Or is it just that nothing else has chosen to go against nature and manipulate the environment? Like, we're assuming that ape and those chimpanzees couldn't start chopping down trees and all that type of shit. You know what I mean? And we're assuming they can't, but maybe they don't.
The manipulation in us
comes from them.
Allegedly comes from them. So that's the all of the manipulation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So most animals that aren't
they don't overkill. They don't.
Yeah, but most of them that are not domesticated operate in a natural order.
Yes. Now, domesticated animals just going to take orders. It's not natural order. They're going to take orders.
Some of them.
Yeah, cats don't.
Is even close. Nothing's even remotely close. It's very, very, very different, but it's also extremely flawed for something that has such a high level of technical sophistication.
Because of our fundamentals.
Because we're still barbaric.
We're still
at core.
Flat. We know the world, the universe, and the world is round, but we're still using flat principles to approach it.
Right. And so if you were a super sophisticated creature from another planet and you needed some particular materials from our planet, and the Anunnaki story is all about
gold. Just create a robot, AI, like we're doing.
Yeah. That they were going to, and this is all Zacharias' work, right? And the idea was that they were going to suspend gold particles in their atmosphere in order to protect their environment.
Same thing the Matrix was talking about, because we're a perpetual energy machine, the way it's all set up here. They don't have to, have any batteries and all kind of energy. It was just natural energy, right? We got to eat and all of that, but we're doing that ourselves. It's, I could,
because they had abused.
Yeah, they had abused it. And I think there was also some speculation about volcanic eruptions, that volcanic eruptions had probably ruined their atmosphere as well. But they had the ability to do something about it. And the way to do something about it is to mine gold. And that they took us and they created us
from the
hominids. The reason why that's so interesting is because gold is fucking useless 10,000 years ago. Why do you need gold?
Now.
No one needs gold. If you're surviving, if you're a hunter-gatherer, gold means jack shit to you. Why is it the number one method of currency throughout all human beings, all over the world?
Well, remember, they abandoned. Remember, for a long time, like if you're thinking about Italians, they talk about it's salt, the soul.
Yeah,
it was salt.
Salt for
salt
food, yeah.
was what we used for currency in exchange for the gold.
Right.
So where did the gold come? Why did we have an appetite?
Right.
Why did we have an appetite for salt?
If it wasn't placed into us, if it does not sustain us in any way.
It's very intriguing. It's very intriguing because it doesn't do anything. You can't make a weapon out of it. You can't make a tool out of it. It's too soft. It's excellent
they
for
weren't
electronics.
necessarily doing electronics, but silver
salt,
is even
salt is
more
very
conductive.
necessary for the body.
If you want it for electronics,
not that
silver is like 17
salt.
times the conductivity of gold.
But they weren't even using it for that. You're right. But they did use silver as well. Silver was
chloride,
also used
very
as
necessary
currency,
but
but not like gold. Gold's the king. Always has been. Gold is number one.
So why do we love it? Why do we need it? Why do we trade life for it?
Because Rothschilds told us.
Why people risk their lives traveling across the sea with wooden boats filled up with it to the point where they sink.
Because the Rothschilds put a value on it.
Fucking bones, these dead soldiers, surrounded by gold coins. It's crazy,
One
right?
of the greatest things about the linchpin is it's also submersible. So one of the main points is, I'm about to build 5 smaller ones. The only thing that I'm missing right now, because we have built a ton of, we've got like 20 different prototypes that.
So when you say submersible, you mean transmedium?
No, transmedium. They can go underwater.
like these UAPs.
Yeah, but
that
no,
they've
we can
talked
go
about.
underwater
Right.
and be able to go now
maneuver through the
and be
water.
able to grab. They can identify where that gold is.
Oh God.
And now they can go down and pull it up themselves without even informing the government about it. I don't need any of that other stuff. And I think that's why this has been suppressed. When I first took it over to Raytheon, I have these 2 test pilots, both colonels, been there for 30 years, one at Boeing, one at Raytheon.
Spooks.
He said, the people at Raytheon said, let's see if he can keep it. They didn't know I had all these other patents surrounding it they had no idea, but its usage. If they use it, the world changes in a beautiful way. If
Bro,
they
he's just
ignore
at a hornet's nest.
we cease
just
to exist.
Covered
because we'll
himself
continue
in
down
hornet
this wrong
food.
path.
And just
So do you think
Batman.
that intelligent life in
knocked
all
it off of the
places
tree.
of the universe has figured this out already?
If they're traveling here,
Stomped
they
on the
have,
queen.
because you don't use power to go from one place to another. You decouple
Now this is
from the electric pool.
Now I
You
gotta go
decouple
back.
from the
He's
earth
talking about
against,
propulsion.
both colonels.
I thought this was
been there for 30 years. One at Boeing, one at Raytheon. He said, the people at Raytheon said, let's see if he can keep it.
You think about this, Charlie?
They didn't know
propulsion.
I had all these other patents surrounding it that
I like to
they
get a
had
bunch
no
of copper kids
idea,
on
but
this.
its usage. If they use it, the world changes in a beautiful way. If they ignore it, we cease to exist because we'll continue down this wrong path.
So do you think that intelligent life in all places of the universe has figured this out already?
If they're traveling here, they have, because you don't use power to go from one place to another. You decouple from the electric pool. You decouple from the earth, and guess what? The earth pulls away from you at its speed. You decouple from the solar system. It pulls away at its speed.
Now, the simple question of this, how do you decouple? He kind of breaks it down, but in layman's, go ahead.
You break the gravity of the planet, and then you're not pulled by that.
Yeah, but how do you break the gravity of the planet?
It's moving.
How do you decouple from gravity without using the forces we use?
Well, he
rocket
says
fuel?
gravity is not really that much of a force, so he's using the electrical and the magnetic
fields.
Yeah, and
Okay.
using them to
So how do you decouple from those?
you get out of the so-called gravity or the effect of it, because he's operating from a moving universe, and this is a globe, and it's all moving. So
how do you?
If you can pull away from it, it's moving. So if
Right.
it's moving away.
Understood.
You decouple from it. He ain't really explain it, but
That's what I'm asking. What do you
you're
think?
breaking the gravity of it.
But
That's-
what do you see as a way to do it?
Without
Maybe he's going
power.
to get into it. Well,
How-
I'm not
he's
saying
talking
without
about
power.
he's talking about how he's flying
Yeah.
his thing. That's what he's getting to.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
talking about how he's gonna say how
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah. Let me see if this makes sense.
You decouple from the galaxy, it pulls away from you. That's all you really need to do, but they didn't know how to decouple. In 2 years, I won't need props anymore. I'll use molecular excitation, which is all inside of the patents that I've put in there.
So one of the things about this whole back engineering thing that you keep hearing about with UAPs,
See, Joe should have been like, how do you decouple? He goes into, but
back
they're going to get
engineering
there. They're
is
gonna-
gravity propulsion systems. Is that there's a system, this is what Bob Lazar talked about. This
This is a CIA question. I know how these podcasters are. They on here, they get a set of questions. They say the fans want to know this and this and that. And they get questions from certain people who they may or may not know as a cop or a spook. And it's questions they ask and that just seem very something that a government official would want to know because they talking about Bob Lazar, you know.
a system that uses a stable element called element 115 that was just theoretical until they discovered that it actually exists in a particle collider in the 2000s. So he was talking about this in 1989. And what he's saying
They
is
knew
that
it
there's some
existed.
sort
Yeah.
of stable element that gets bombarded with electricity and
working
it
with it,
creates
so.
this gravity wave.
That you can do that, or you can just, like with music, use a discordant tone. And those tones will push away. There's a particular tone that the earth is on. There's a particular tone, the key of A. It's 432 hertz, the Schumann resonance. All you have to do is have the opposite tone,
which
to
is,
that, and it will be pushed away.
which
from
is.
You don't, the same way a bubble at the bottom of the
Hey,
ocean
ask
doesn't
Siri
use
what the opposite tone of the key of A is.
any energy to get to the top. But
Hey Siri, what's the opposite tone of the key of A?
Here's what I found.
because it's
She can't blab
completely
nothing out. I got to
in
read.
opposition to its environment, the environment pushes it away. That's what you do if you're an intelligent race. You can use an oar if you're trying to swim across the ocean. You can get across
Okay.
there, but an intelligent species.
So its relative minor is F sharp minor, and its parallel minor is A minor. The key of A major is the only key where the Neapolitan sixth chord on 2 requires both a flat and a natural accidental. Brother Newman could probably help us with more of this because he's a pianist.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure he loves what this guy is saying about the piano keys. I do remember old school pianos. You probably got to get an old school piano, man. You got more tones on that thing. In the treble, alto, and bass clefs, the G in the key signature is placed higher than C. However, in the tenor clef, it would require a larger ledger, and so G is placed lower than C. So I don't know. I feel like they're saying A major is a major scale based on A, with the pitches A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Its key signature has 3 sharps. Its relative minor is F sharp minor, and its parallel minor is A minor. So it's probably using F sharp minor to go on, in one direction, and then A minor in another direction, and you're going to somehow, navigate between those 2 frequencies.
I don't know nothing about playing the piano out there.
Well, it's just music vibrations and stuff like that, man. There's a whole lot of studies being done on
Species
that.
like Alan.
I had a passenger that I got to send you the her music. It's dope, but she's actually studying all of that. It's like a college major now. This type of stuff, Yeah.
Watt said, will use a cell, and they'll tack and make their way across. You use the energy. That's what judo is. It's supposed to be the Tao,
I've been doing that since I was a kid, wrestling my big brothers, using their energy against them.
the Tao way, which is the Wu way.
I think what he's saying is, when you go out there in that ocean, Self, what we're doing is going against the current, burning that gas. And I think the ancients and everyone, the natural thing would do is wait till the current changes, and then you can simply put up a flat sail.
Yeah.
You go with nature instead of against it.
And if you had to go against it, you went until you can get into where you
You don't go in that
straight.
straight line, is what you're
Right.
saying, bro.
Yes.
Probably never should go in that straight
Which
line.
is not forcing anything. And the Japanese just say judo.
Well, Brother Newman might know more than that about us too, seeing as how he's a ship's captain.
In a harsher sense, but it still means using the energy
piano and
of your opponent against it without expressing unnecessary energy. So you just use
And he
the
met this
equal and
guy.
opposite forces of tones. You can do all of this stuff
See that?
with tone. You don't need
That's crazy.
to use any electricity beyond creating the frequency.
Hey, and when you saw Close Encounters, what was that motherfucking thing doing? Do, do, do,
Yeah.
do, do.
Playing tones. It was
Do, 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 do. It had that big mountain. It was probably a tree. Just playing tones. Yeah. Yeah, it's just playing tones. Yeah.
That's what the Beatles use, not the Beatles, the singing group,
That's what I
but
thought you were talking about.
those Beatles that they have in the Scarab Beatles, and those people that were doing those experiments with it. That's what these shapes, used properly, vibrated properly.
It's like you don't see birds just flying, man. They wait for the wind.
It's a levitation.
And so that would be the method of propulsion.
Method of propulsion and also decoupling.
And so it wouldn't show visible means of propulsion. Just like these UAPs don't show visible means of propulsion. They don't have a heat signature.
No.
So they'd be operating on something entirely different that's allowing it to propel. And then you could figure out how to manipulate that how.
That's what I was asking you, Self. That's going to take some thinking. How to
Frequency
manipulate
of the
it.
earth.
There you go.
And find out what's the equal and opposite tone.
So he don't know what the equal opposite tone
Wrap your
is.
ship in there.
And how fast could this thing go?
He keeps saying
You
find
decouple
it.
from the earth.
Yeah,
you move
no.
at, what's the earth moving? At 1,000 miles an hour or so? Takes 24 hours for it to get around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how quickly is our solar system spinning? Yeah, whatever that tone, whatever that frequency is, whatever that speed is, you decouple from the solar system. Now the solar system moves away from you.
So in that sense, you could move at insane speeds and not experience G-force.
No,
We've
nothing
done that
whatsoever,
too,
and that's
Seth.
what
And
the linchpin or the angles of
I
incidence.
think when he was saying, Lazar was talking about the magnetism. You know, as a kid,
Yeah.
you did that. You would feel that force when you held two magnets together,
Yeah.
pushing it away. And you're like, man, that's energy. You're trying to figure out a way to make it do more. Get out of here. What you doing? You still playing those magnets? Get in line. You get dressed. You got to go to school and stand in line. Teacher says you ain't standing in line. Yeah.
You got to sit down and shut up. That's what y'all do. Oh, come on in. You're in the line. Come on in. Sit down and shut up.
Yeah, talking about you making all the kids laugh in class. You know what I mean? They're going to put you in them slow classes.
They gonna kick you out.
I can't afford no hearing aid.
It allows because now we can decouple from these 6 relative positions.
So when we feel about G-force, like when you're have you ever flown in a fighter jet before?
Yeah.
You feel those insane G-forces.
Mhm.
Like, what that is the resistance
We know what G-force
of the
is,
Earth
Jay.
itself.
No.
Of the Earth.
Of the spin of the Earth itself.
Of our centripetal place where we are with the, remember the Earth is spinning.
Uh-huh.
The solar system is spinning and acting a force. The galaxy is spinning and acting on it.
So
and
there's
now
all
the
these
force
forces
is pushing
down.
in. So if you decouple from them,
then you have no force pushing you through, and you can essentially travel instantaneously to anywhere if you have the right frequency.
But you're going to end up somewhere else where you don't have the right frequency, and then you refrequent from there.
frequency. It's all frequency. It's all frequency. And the right angles of incidence. You can't get there with Cartesian space or Euclidean 90 degrees, 45 degree things. You cannot get there. You have to have the truth. And that's why I think I was given all of these things. It's like, hey, let's stop destroying the planet. You don't need oil to do all of the things you're doing. You know, we can now take, right now we're writing a patent. I'm working with Jeff Yee, another mathematician that we worked, and me and Chris are doing another patent, but we're able to take the radioactive decayed water, the stuff that they're using to cool those rods, and use the proper angles of incidence and the proper field, and can reverse that radioactive decay to in days and not take 100 years in order for it to do. It's just the change in pressure and motion conditions.
The CIA operative that they didn't ask him none of this.
He wouldn't listen to nothing.
And Joe wanted to try to bring him. Joe was trying, like, man, let's talk about some of the other things you were talking about. He wasn't. He wasn't listening to nothing.
No.
And
he was offended.
But he should. Okay. All right. I'm offended. Boom. Let's move to the next one. And that's what Joe was trying to do. Like, let's just talk about what we could talk about. Like some of this, because even he said it. I think I agree with you. I think he was too fucked up at the end too, and that's why they ended it. And he looks back on it. If he's not an op, he felt bad because he started out. To your point, he said he was going to do that. He did. Yeah. But he wanted to get some things out first, and he never let this man talk.
I was talking to Jeff Yee about it. He was like, well, we can use neutrinos coming from the sun, and saw that there was a different relationship, like I was saying before, how radioactive decay seems to happen quicker around Venus or closer to the sun. And I was like, is it possible that that's due to the change in the greater pressure condition that's happening, and therefore the electricity is able to have a greater effect upon it? You know, it's like, oh, no, how do you know that the pressure is greater, you know, at Venus? And I was like, oh, you still think there's a void, you know? We'll send a probe there and see how the pressure increases, and send the probe out and see how the pressure decreases.
They've done it already. They've sent probes to Venus. They got all this. As one says, a certain naivete here. Charles Newman says, I remember when Terrence was investing heavily in synthetic diamonds. He said, what about diamonds? They're not necessary. I agree. But at least diamonds are hard, and they were using them in some machines, you know, to cut stuff. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's it. They have no
Yeah,
purpose.
in comparison to gold, yeah.
Yeah. But I agree.
Yeah.
Hell, that dollar bill, that paper dollar in your hand.
Soon and very soon.
Greater, closer
Not
to.
gonna mean a thing.
That's what they're afraid of, boy. That
Man.
dollar collapse, boy. You might as well. Shit, all these people, boy, they've been putting their whole life into it all. Stealing from indigenous people and putting themselves in their position for the bottom to fall out.
The sun, or the apex, or the primary, the closer to it, the higher the pressure. The further away, the
Hey, we only got let me see where we at. 3:01. Yeah, it's about 6 more minutes of this.
less the influence. Your child, my child, you get my child around me, I've got a great deal of influence on it. And he behaves the way I expect him to behave.
Facts.
You take him outside, you know, to a theme park, and I'm not there, they run crazy.
Thanks.
Because I'm not there to act upon them.
The parents act like they don't know that shit.
Propulsion at the same time.
I feel like we could do 100 of these podcasts, but I think we should wrap this one up. We just did about 3 hours.
I saw when I was looking at a lot of your stuff, I was like, damn, he be sitting there talking for 3 damn hours.
You just flew
What
by.
are they talking about? But we haven't even covered half of these things.
Let's do it again.
I would love to.
Let's do it again.
But if you, like I said,
I'm very interested to see how this is received, and I'm very interested to see, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that want to be able to talk to you about this.
I'm leaving those things with you.
Beautiful. I'll keep
just
them right
so
here.
that you can, and if you go into my book,
I'm sure
you
there's going
can
to be a
walk
lot of people
through
that want to
and
talk to you.
explain
I'm going to listen to this
all of
podcast
the
about
stuff.
30
They
times.
want to steal all
just
his
to try to
ideas, Drew.
Get a slippery grip on any of it. But
Thank you.
I really appreciate you, man. I really appreciate you. You're a very rare person.
You too, man. You made the challenge. There's one question I want to ask you before
Okay.
you go.
This was a great question.
While you were on Fear Factor,
Yes.
and you watched people making choices for that gold,
Yeah.
what was your
He
consensus
be
about
boxing their ass
human
in.
nature in comparison to what dignity and integrity should move somebody to do in comparison for chasing
Dignity
that
would have
gold?
made him quit that show.
Well, I think for a lot of people, first of all, what happens is first the show becomes famous, right? So the show gets on television. Initially, people do it because they want to be on television. Then the show becomes successful, and people do it because they like it. They watch it home, and they wonder if they could do it. Could I do that? Like most
Programming
people
is what
say,
he's talking
the
about.
physical challenges, like those would be interesting to me, but man, I can't eat bugs. I can't do that. A lot of
If
that's
I
in your
had
head.
to.
And it's like anything. It's just a challenge to see if you could overcome your natural instincts. And like I ate a roach. It was nothing.
They'd offer me a pork
No big
chop
deal.
and I'd have
I
to
ate a
tap
bunch
out.
of things.
I ate a cicada.
I ate a
shrimp.
Cicadas are actually good. Like people cook them. And there's by the way, you
Calamari.
should cook
I'm
them
outta
because there's
here,
a
man.
giant hatch about to go down right now. And they were just showing images of these things coming out of the ground because it's like a 13-year cycle.
Yeah.
And there's billions of them. And you eat them. They're
A
delicious.
great source of
apparently.
protein.
Yeah, a great source of protein. People got to get past the idea of eating bugs. But so then people
Yeah,
started
they
doing
do.
the show because they wanted to see if they could do
And
it.
owning
And, you know,
shit.
some people are in credit
Gotta
card
get
debt.
over all that.
It's
You know, they're
already
young.
bugs
They
and
just want to
shit.
take a chance.
You
Might
already
be
can't
fun.
own shit. They just
You know.
price it out to
Yeah,
reach.
but it's at the end of the
They
day,
call it blue
there's a
dye
certain
and
amount of
shit. It's already
self-respect
bugs
that
in your
comes up
shit.
to
Oh,
like if
yeah.
I'm forced to eat a slug or something of that nature. If I'm on like Naked and Afraid, it drives me crazy because
Oh,
they don't
that's-
even get paid for it. They go out and get these
Man.
parasites and for life
Man.
that changes them for life, and it's just for the freaking experience. No, that's why we put on clothes. You
It's
know,
the clout. They want to be on television. People want to be on television so
Yeah.
bad.
and I think
And
being
then
on
it
television
helps
is
their
the
social
worst
media.
thing that has ever happened. I feel like an emotional whore. You know, because they don't appreciate that I'm tapping into something
Yeah.
sacred, some sacred emotions, and I'm just turning.
That's how you
tricks for
felt at
jobs.
Oxford. I could
Turning
tell.
tricks, and if I
Yeah.
do a great
Yeah.
job turning this trick, then they'll do a gangbang with their buddies.
Oh, wow.
Literally
But
and,
you can't
and,
talk
and
like that.
figuratively.
He said literally.
You know, and that's
Yeah.
what they want.
You
to
can't
do.
talk like
They
that
want
in
to make all the
Hollywood.
money
You
out
can't
of
talk
you
like that.
turning your tricks.
Come on. This guy
Yeah,
just
but the thing is, like,
makes
for the
up a whole
person
lot of
that
enemy.
watches it, it's entertainment and it's very valuable.
The
Like,
whole
wow,
show.
what a great fucking movie.
Yeah.
You leave, you feel inspired, you want
Yes.
to create. You know, there's positive to it too. I could
I'm
see
not
how you
mad
look
at
at
him,
it
though.
as
He's
a
on a
negative
path,
experience,
you know,
but
he don't care.
particularly you,
The producers
because you have
make
so
it
much
We do a
more
lot of that.
to offer. Well, yeah, there's always. You're always going to get pimps.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
and,
And
I
they
love
behave like
interacting
pimps.
with the people, and I love the growth of that. I love when people say you helped me through a really dark area.
Those questions
because
were
even when I play bad
cheap.
guys, I'm like I'm trying to.
You gotta
find,
watch it if you ain't watched
I'm
it.
finding.
Oxford
I
interview.
know that bad person is just missing something that it wanted and needed.
Yeah, like all humans.
Pull out your calculators. What's 1 times 1? When you started acting, and you used that's what they was doing, bro. I'm like, oh, these motherfuckers rude.
Yeah.
Just a hug, just the right hug, and you know, and somebody understanding them. Now, I'm gonna leave with this one last thing.
Okay.
I was on a plane once, and I always ask the older people when they're sitting next to me,
Here we go.
what's the best advice you can give
You
a
gotta
young
add
man?
this self.
You know, I was 33, and this when we were
Well, we
going
do.
over to Germany.
9-year-old
it's
self. I
really-
guess that's
and-
the same
and,
thing.
And figurative.
But here's the best advice
You know,
you
and
can
that's
give a
what
young
they
man.
want. And I love the growth of that. I love when people say
Best
you helped me
advice.
through a really dark area. Because even when I play bad guys, I'm like, I'm finding I know that bad person is just missing something that it wanted and needed.
Yeah,
Like all
so I
humans.
create them when I write.
Yeah.
Just a hug, just the right hug, and
That's what I was
you
trying
know,
to
and,
tell
and somebody
brother
understanding.
Paul.
And I'm gonna leave with this one last thing.
That's what's up.
I was on a plane once, and I always ask the older people when they're sitting next to me, what's the best advice you can give a young man? You know, I was 33, and this when we were going over to Germany. This will take 1 minute. We were going over to Germany, and I asked this one guy that was like 70 years old, and right at the moment as we were on our way, he said, if you look out the right side of the plane, you'll notice the island of Ibiza. And he got real quiet. And then 5 minutes later, he said, have as much sex as you can now. This is before the advent of Viagra.
Whoa.
And then I was coming back from the Czech Republic, and a few years later, and I asked this man as we got on the plane, and he sat next to me, and he waited until we got all the way near L.A., and as he was reaching up for his bags, he said, what's the best advice you can give a young man so he can be good, have a successful life? He said, you got to remember, in every person you meet, there's a little piece of God in them, and that's who you talk to. And I added to that, but make sure they see it in you first.
Wow.
So that's what my life principle is about. Make way for life. Please make way for life. Find the peace of God in you and show it. Shine through it.
Haven't I been saying
push
that?
it,
I was saying that on the block,
take
so.
up your state.
I was preaching to everybody that, you know, you can take those guys. They might be out there doing what they do. But, you know, you show them the God in themselves and the God in you, you know, you're not going to have any issues. They're not going to do those things that, you know, they may be doing. You got to talk to the God in them. If you want to talk to the Satan in them, then, you know what I mean? That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah,
Of course, you
don't
don't.
say nothing at all.
I was just about to say best practice. I mean, I was just about to say, yeah, best practice. All right, so he did the Fear Factor. Neil deGrasse Tyson had a pretty, I don't know. I don't want to call it disrespectful, but he's got 10 million views like 1 million views less than this video on his response to Terrence Howard.
17-minute joint.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was unnecessary for him to do it that way. He could have brought him on his show, and they could have sat down with him and the other brother, and they could have just talked about it. But I guess I never thought of Neil deGrasse Tyson as a clout chaser.
Well, I think these setup scientists, I mean, a lot of what he said was totally disrespectful to what they hold as true. So I'm not going to get a whole lot of good responses from the people of his prior to him, and probably some after him for a while.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I feel that, Tori, 100%. To the point where, they could have put him on him. I just hate to see it. I know somehow we always end up going at each other, but not always, but it's put out there when we do. All right. So we were talking about the thoughts on the follow-up pod when they had that scientist in there. They boozed them up. My thought was, I just felt like, I'm not blaming them. I'm blaming Terrence. Maybe it just got away from him. I've been there. But for me, that was disinformation, discredit 101. I mean, if you found a CIA manual, they'll tell you that's just how you do it. Sit them down, you gain their trust, you get them drinking, you get them talking. But go ahead. What was your take?
Yeah. To me, I think the booze loosened both of them up where it went. Terrence allowed him to just cut him off time after time, and tell him something's wrong with his brain or something along those lines. And
then give him bullshit scientific theories. But what we believe is.
Man. Okay. What you believe in has got the fake math where you got to invent shit for stuff that occurs.
And then everything he agreed with himself, he'll be like, yeah, there's a scientist over here. One of my colleagues has wrote a paper on that. You'll try to say that, that's the only time he agrees with it. But other than that, it was monkey science.
Yeah. Yeah. Act like some of his people that he followed were crackpots.
Yeah, he loves Neil deGrasse Thompson, whatever his name is. Neil deGrasse Tyson. He loves him. And I'm going to have to check his I'm going to do some research on that guy, man, because his name doesn't even sound like he's some sort of foundational copper now that I'm looking at it. He's copperish. And ran his ass out there. He's copperish, bro.
More than likely.
I don't think I ever met on deGrasse, but he does have that Tyson.
Yeah.
Do
the research. Man, we can figure that part out.
I only know one black Tyson, and that's Mike, and all the rest of them are white. So let's the reality of it. Before Mike Tyson, you never met a black guy with the last name Tyson. So there's that. And he was in that foster program, but they might have been messing with his bum, and that's why he had so much anger in him. He talked about it too.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, they put him in the foster program. Label you a bad boy and, take you down there and send you to the white people in the subway to turn your life around. Oftentimes they're messing with those kids' bums out there. And that's how they become great athletes, and some of them become killers. Yeah. All right. I think that's about it for today, bro. Because I got to, believe it or not, go get to the money. Now, let's get to the question du jour. Go to the channel. Supposed to have this up already, Karen. Well, fuck you too, Karen. Let's see here. She's learning. I can't do nothing but respect that. All right. Brother Newman, if you hadn't voted on the poll, go to the channel, to the This Ain't That Network, and then click the community tab and you can vote. Here we go. Because I don't know who believes in God and who doesn't. I guess that should have been an option. There is no God. Look at me. Once again, there is no option. But somebody could type that in there. You know what I mean? In the comments. I've done that on polls where there's not a good option. I type in there, Michael Jordan. Who do you like better? Kobe, rest his soul, or LeBron James? I'll be like Michael Jordan. All right, here we go. Are we gods? And it's with a small G. The first option is no. There is only one God. Option number 2, no. But we are part of the God's body. Option number 3, yes. Faith is required. And I guess could have said faith or knowledge, because you'd have to have, maybe awareness. Awareness would have been a much better word there. Yes, but awareness is required. You know what I mean? Yes. Yeah. But then we got yes, faith or faithless. And then finally, 5% of us are gods. All right. 0% said we are not gods, but they consider we are part of the God's body. So I think if someone believes we're part of God's body, then they probably might accept that they're God. I don't know. But then we have 43%. No, dude. No, they don't. Don't one God. We white. He came down. He white. He came down.
Oh, well, here.
He came down. Woo. He coming back. He come back. He gonna slide down your chimney. He gonna slide down your chimney. He come back. He gonna save you. He gonna clean up the police department. He gonna clean up the politics. He gonna take the money from the rich people. Give all the money to the poor people. But hey, we're just having fun. I promise you, we are. No, there's only one God, and I say that because I would have felt that way. I remember as a kid thinking my parents were God, though. Had that coach right out of me. By them. You know what I mean? Yeah, right out of me. As far as I'm concerned. All right, but anyway. All right, here we go. Another option, yes. Whether you have faith or not. 14% of respondents believes that we are gods. And it doesn't matter if you have faith or not. 5% of us are gods. So I guess they feel like, 5% are gods, 85% are, sheep.
Yeah.
And then 10% are, in the middle somewhere. But 5% of us are gods. 14% went with that as well. So overall, so far, 28% believe we are gods, and 43% said, no, there's only one God. It's your master, and he's white. All right. And then finally, we've got, yes, faith is required. 29% has selected that one. So the highest selected is no, there's only one God. However, 57% in some way, shape, or fashion believe that we are gods or they are gods. That's interesting. Ain't it?
Yeah, I'm not surprised though. Our listenership.
That's interesting. I wish more people would have took time to fill that out. I mean, it only takes, how long does that take? How long did that take you, Sam?
1 second or two. Yeah, maybe I'd read it all 5-6 seconds. I don't know.
You had to pay with your Apple Pay?
No, didn't have to pay. It was free 99.
Look at that shit.
It didn't cost a single dime.
Damn people, bro. Damn people. All right, let me, we're busy though. You know what I'm saying? We got shit to do. I feel that 100%, bro. All right, let me go ahead and do this wrap up and we start closing out. My bad. All right, Karen, I need my camera. There we go. As we wrap up this final episode of this series, Terrence Howard, Madman or Genius Unpacked, our reaction series. We've journeyed through the fascinating and often controversial landscape of Howard's theories and ideas, from his unconventional math to his unique approach to life and art. Terrence has certainly given the Self Love Nation much to ponder. Whether you see him as a visionary ahead of his time or someone whose ideas challenge the very fabric of conventional thinking and the very fabric of your existence, one thing is clear. Terrence Howard is a figure who sparks curiosity and debate. His theories push us to question the boundaries of what we know and to explore the possibilities of what should be. Thank you for joining us on this exploration. We hope it has inspired you to think differently and to embrace the, quote, unconventional, end quote, in this universe. Stay curious, stay open-minded, and remember, sometimes the most extraordinary ideas come from the most unexpected places. Until next time, keep questioning, keep dreaming, keep exploring. Show some love to yourself and everyone around you. Remember, ask not what the copper culture can do for you. And I don't care if you're copper or not. I'll ask you this again. Ask not what the copper culture can do for you, but what you can do for our culture. As always, question everything and everyone. The Self Love Show ain't Kansas, Dorothy. You go ahead and peer down those rabbit holes and do your own research. But use caution. Stay grounded. Use discernment. Because sometimes when you spend too much time staring into the eyes of the abyss, the abyss stares right back at you. Peace, self-love, honor, and respect. Big ups to Midwest festivals out there, so.
Sir, all the time.
Yeah, they're our sponsors. If anybody else want to jump on board, we are here for it. Anybody else wants to jump on board, we're all ears. Let's see here. What the fuck? I can't understand. I never have what I need when I need it. All right, no worries. That's bullshit. All right, and big ups to what the fuck? Karen, where is it? We got sponsors, they're paying us. And you're supposed to have this ready. Give me 30 seconds. I should be able to find this. Self Love Show, mouthpiece. It's gone. Maybe they took it down. It's all right. Where there's a meals, there's a way. Yeah.
So they took it down?
Oh, no, but somehow it ain't on the playlist no more.
Buddy, it's Weenie.
Stewie.
Hey, everybody.
Yes.
Funny. Catchphrase because they know, but I don't think they can. For the Weenie Sound-Alike contest. I don't know, but I don't think they can say my catchphrase because they know funny.
I don't know, but.
Oh, there it is. And if you think you can say that just like Weenie here, you could win $97.1 for the cool
One of them is
weekend
Weenie
ahead.
and the other one's Butts.
We have a butt.
Cool weekends in the morning, 97.1 FM.
Weekends in the morning with Winnie in the butt.
WQHG 97.1. 97.1. 97.1.
Hold on. Y'all, it ain't funny. Because y'all ain't. Hold on. I'm sure we're wrapping this up. But pick ups to the sponsors. Man, get a load of these guys.
In the morning, cool weekends.
FM. Weenie. And welcome back.
Excuse me, I gotta find a lost kid. Can I use your mic?
That's what she said. Whoa, you got butt slam! Ho, 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 ho!
Listen, I could really use a hand here.
That's what he said. Butt slam! That's Manic Monkey on 97.1.
Manic Monkey, 97.1.
Cool weekends in the morning. Oh, weekend long.
Weenie and the Butt.
In the morning.
On the radio.
FM.
Give me that.
Stewie Griffin, will you? Hey, that's...
I listened to
All
him.
right, we
My
can't
card.
find what we're
Call
looking
me if
for.
you're interested.
That's enough.
Hey, okay, we've got
All right. Manic Monkey.
our first contestant. Let's hear Weenie's catchphrase. Dano funny. I think we have a wiener. And that's Dickie the Punchline Donkey on 97.1.
Dickie the Punchline Donkey on Cool 97.1. On the radio.
In the
morning.
FM.
WQHG.
Cool weekends.
In the morning.
On 97.1.
97.1.
I'm gonna throw you now to Weenie in the Butt in the afternoon.
Weenie in the butt.
97.1.
In the afternoon. In the afternoon.
Oh my God.
WQHG.
Turn it on and rip the knob off.
You're listening to the radio.
All right.
Stewie.
Winnie in the butt.
Hey, everybody.
It's not that chair out there. Winnie in the butt. They've been sponsoring us for at least, 2 years now?
Yeah. Weenie and the Butt.
Yeah, I thought we should show the actual show so people get an idea. They were out at the LA County Fair. All right. Okay. 1 times 1 is not a literal notation. It means take 1 and it is 1 time. That's where I learned it, meaning 1, 1. You remember the multiplication tables.
Yeah.
So it is 1. Like 2 times 1 is taking 2 and presenting it 2 times. But why is 2 times 2 4? So
Taking the 2 and presenting them 2 times.
he said 2 times 1 is taking 2 and presenting it 1 time. Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree. 3 times 4 is taking 3 and present. Yes, 4 times, which is 12. He said, how do you vote again? Yeah, I'm gonna send him that link. I'm gonna send you a link, Brother Newman. Let's see, tour.
So where's that?
All right, let me get this over there. Well, Brother Newman, well, we don't put your business out there, all right, but we're gonna go ahead and send you. I'm texting it to you, bro. All right, there we go. All right. So those are the sponsors, y'all. And let's get to the riddle. Self Love, I believe, solved it. Let's see, I'll read it. In a world where waves and curves define a theory that challenges the math we find, if 1 times 1 is not what you see, but rather a number that sets you free, what is the answer to this perplexing view where conventional math just won't do? All right, Brother Wordsworth.
No.
That's what Diesel says. Wordsworth.
No. Yeah, I should check him too. It's the number 2.
100%. Get out of here. Oh, he's stepping on the buttons and messing up everything. This damn cat. No. All right. He is 100%. And what made you come up with that?
I looked at the show and who we were talking about.
Thanks.
And stuff that he says and said. So.
Put it all together. That is facts. All right. He opted into the information, applied the information, paid attention, stayed aware, does these riddles every week, and he's just, just a master at them. Bottom line. And you can do it too if you had a little light in you. This little light of mine.
You decide.
It's only one light and it ain't inside me. It's only one light, and it ain't inside me. God is everything except for me. Let it be, let it be. Nobody's singing songs like that. What'd you say the scripture said? Let there be no gods before me.
Yeah.
Could have just said, what? Let there be
God.
no gods. Yeah, let there be one God. Correct. Right. Let there be one God. Yes.
I am God.
Yes.
That's only God.
That's it. Yes.
It didn't say that.
No. Facts. All right. But what I was getting at, bro, next week, hopefully we can get your boy on here that said he'd like to come back. You know, well, I want to put together a panel. Ideally it'll be 3 people who are gonna. The question is, why should we vote Dem versus any alternative? Why should we vote for the Democrats once again versus any alternative? And I'd like to have a panel argue for why we shouldn't, and then a panel argue, and it's just going to be 3 or 4 simple questions, you know. But the challenge is, if you cannot, well, it'll be a question. Tell me why I should vote for such and such without mentioning the other side at all, right? You know, if you wanted me to join your gang or your fraternity, you're going to come to me, but the other side, because they all goofies. But the other side, and that's how, I'm not going to say any name, but they wore blue and white. That's how they would try to recruit, you know, talking about other people and shit, you know. I'm just saying. So it'll be a thing like, you know, please. And we'll hit a buzzer every time they mention, because you got to, you know, that kind of shit. We're going to have certain things that you can't say, and we're going to have you articulate an argument of why we should vote. And me and you are going to be the strategy guy, and we're going to, you know, mute people. It's going to be respectful. We're going to demand that. It's not going to be any name calling, nothing like that. You know, have a professional debate. And hopefully somebody won't be suffering from early onset dementia, because I'm not going to sit there and watch that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to contact his wife or somebody who loves him and say, hey, look, can we get him off the show? You know what I mean? Can you let him know why I just got him off the show? Because it's painful to watch. Just throwing that out there. So that's what we're looking to put together. So maybe if you can think of some guys, you know, and we're not outing who you're voting for. We're going to have a disclaimer in the beginning. These guys are just, you know, arguing this way or that way. This doesn't necessarily mean this is who they're going to vote for in the booth. You know what I mean? They all have their right for privacy. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think that'll be a great show.
Definitely should bring out some great talk. That's for sure. Some great talk. It'll be some interesting conversation on that.
Unaffected by big media. Did you see DL Hughley? I mean, and I've been meaning to put together a video. I'm just behind a 9-ball. DL, man, the day before, okay, DL went on a rant. We had it, and he ain't dementia. Anybody say he ain't running the country, they don't know what they talking about. And we gotta vote because his policies, I mean, we gotta come out there. He went on a rant and was talking down towards anybody who was trying to suggest that this man is unfit to do the job. The very next fucking day, that man stepped down and said he was unfit to do the job. I want to get DL on this show and say, how the fuck do you feel? Why can you look at something that everybody else looks at? Come on, bro. You got to have a check. You got paid to come out and say this shit.
Yeah. I won't say he got paid, but.
So if there were credible doctors saying he's got all the signs of dementia, people who watch family members suffer from that, and he brought his ass out like, bro. And he should come out the next day, you know what? I was wrong to try to, you know, I don't want to lose any credibility. I was wrong yesterday with that rant I went on and trying to convince everybody to vote for somebody who, you know, can't even put his pants on straight, allegedly. Can't ride a bicycle, allegedly, to be running the country. Now you got Scamala, all right, and then
they walk down a flight of stairs.
Yeah, allegedly. Big ups to him. All right, now Zeke, Mouthpiece included, Zeke and the GOAT. Yeah. We're going down that rabbit hole. The job is to find all the footage of Zeke and the Bad Boys hating on Michael Jeffrey Jordan, and Zeke specifically going all the way back to his first All-Star game. And Zeke didn't, like a little bitch, allegedly didn't talk to him, didn't respond on the elevator and all that, then froze him out like a little whore. And then spent his whole career hating on him and wondering why Chicago doesn't love his little bitch ass. And he grew up in the city, but then went out to Westchester and played for them. Didn't want to play for the city. Westinghouse wanted him. I mean, I'm not judging him. I guess I am. But then his little bitch ass didn't go to DePaul, who had the #1 team in the country and had a tradition of the best fucking point guards. And all he had to do was go there and just, that was weird. You know what I mean? Little bitch ass. All the other West Siders went out there, but not this little bitch. Can you say bitch? I'm going to say it anyway. And this little bitch went to Indiana. The little bitch went to Indiana self and then got them a championship. Then the little whore, had no choice of his own, goes to Detroit and then have to watch him win championships at the expense of my Bulls, tackling and beating the shit out of Michael Jeffrey Jordan and every other player. And then not shaking hands and walking off the court. And now you're butthurt and he called me an asshole. You know. So that's what we're talking about on Mouthpiece Included. So,
alrighty,
yeah, it's long overdue. You know, we don't like down and black man, a copper man on this show, but I tell you what, I've had enough. Well, we don't do it on the Self Luv Show. TATN don't tend to do it, but we're getting in his ass and all what? Skin folk ain't what?
Skin folk.
Damn it. All right, let's see here. Let's go ahead and get this over here, because this brings me to my personal favorite part of the show, especially since I definitely got to get to the money. Show production.
We are, as they...
Yeah, whatever. All right, Karen, let's cue it up. All right, wordsmiths. Final words out there, out there, out there, out there.
Terrence Howard. Genius or crackpot? He's slinging knowledge like crack rock. Or he giving you that light work, that baking soda, baking powder, dope. I think he got that fire. He got all these scientists hating because they whole careers hanging on by a wire. It's hot. They press by it. Most of them will have to get out the way and retire because they can't retool. They don't know what else to do. But everything has to change because this stealth impression has been afforded too long. It's sick, same old song. But there's another vibe we need to be on. And I don't know if T. Howard got it, but to me, it seems to be moving in the right direction. Something different from the previous selection. And I don't know if his conjugations are true, but the only thing somebody needs to do is try them out and see what they go through. Instead of calling them out and calling him a fool. You better be true. They coming for his head, especially since the stuff he talking about messing with their bread. They don't really care what he said. Watch his back so he don't get hit in the head. And we need to watch over him as well. Make sure this initiative doesn't fail. After it's all well tested and real. Of course. Words.
Words. Yes, trying to close it out. Oh, I don't have to get to the money. I just found out, bro. I actually looked at the mail. Registration ain't due to the 18th or some shit. I forgot I did register my shit like mid-month. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. Time is money, baby. Time is money. So I'm going to lay on my ass after the show. Well, I'm not going to lay on my ass. I got things to do. But nobody cares. All right. Here we go. Let's see. Yeah. Appreciate y'all pulling up. Hey, we need a panel though, man. 3 on each side. We're gonna get it in. Me and Self Love just gonna watch. You can debate Self if you want to. You know me. When I'm a strategist, it's gonna be order. Play that shit.
You know what that means?
You disrespecting me at that point.
Means know thyself.
You know what I'm saying? Shit. What's wrong with y'all? Let's see here. Bullets, a boomerang.
Stand your ground.
Murder, killing God. That's suicide.
Yeah, eye for an eye.
Defend yourself. If you see something, wait a minute. If you see something, say something.
Silence is violence.
Slave fear. Greed plus ego over fear. Slavery.
Greed. And then charity plus humility times love is freedom.
Lyrics for the stick up, kids storm for a stick up. I came to elevate the world, my heart would never give up. My mind forever focused, there's a time for every lotus.
Don't answer questions. You're a god.
So they notice. They say the student's ready, then the teacher appears. Cause he was always there, you just didn't see he was here.
Question everything.
It's time to make the people aware. It's time to make the people aware. Man, know thyself. I will eat the right foods that I grow myself.
Fear
Cause the wrong way stole my health.
is capped. It's like a bubble. When you go towards it, it disappears.
Vibrate love.
Forgiveness, in my mind, that's love's most sanctimonious vibration.
So, do something charitable for a so-called enemy and end the beef.
You know, let's send something to the CIA. Get on their back from the Self Luv Show. Yeah, send something.
Don't stay under their radar.
You know what? You don't smack the hornet's nest.
Not right now.
Poke the bear out there. All right. Healthy people heal our people.
Because we know for sure that hurt people gonna try to hurt people.
For the love of everything. Free Larry Hoover. He's innocent.
Free Jeff Floyd.
Free all the guys, man.
Prison and slavery.
Literally. When you read the 13th Amendment.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret.
Be ya.
One is
Walk on
just
water.
like being in love.
Move
No one
mountains.
can tell you you're in love. You just know it.
Move mountain, man. I gotta ask God. I'm not a god. I don't have no atoms in me. Bunch of stuff going on, the whole universe. Working for me.
Particle.
Needing me for their survival.